motherfucking option. Stay fucking hard.
Where pretty lies go to die. Welcome, 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 welcome. This is The Rational Male live from Las Vegas, Nevada. Kylo Tren, Commander Kyle, Command Center. Working hard. Finally back from vacation. I'll tell you all about it. No, I didn't get capsized in a freak hurricane on Lake Tahoe. Oh man, we are going to talk about what is wrong with the chicks today. And yes, we are definitely getting into the meltdown on Valuetainment just recently that they don't want you to know about, but I've got all the goods. But before we do, we have to learn about anxiety pen.
I'm sorry that I have anxiety. Okay, and honestly, yeah, it is kind of the fault of people like you that want to come up here and bully and berate me over something that I don't do. Okay, so cut the shit. It's not a vape. All right, it's an anxiety pin, and God, the amount of times that I've asked you to respect me and respect my anxiety pin is, at this point, getting ridiculous, Cody. So please,
justified crash out
for the final and for the billionth time. Will you?
I'm sorry, this dude is so much better without his anxiety pen. I would watch this.
Please just respect the fact that it's not a vape and that it's an anxiety pin.
I'm getting like flashbacks of Bit Boy.
Yeah. It's a goddamn anxiety pen. Get it right.
What flavor is your vape?
Yo, you really got me.
Get the fuck. Just
for this.
Get the fuck out.
Get him out.
I hate women.
Yes, do it, my friend. Go.
Okay, get out. You get out too. You fucking weirdo. What, dude?
What?
Do you vape? Parker, do you vape?
No, it's a damn fucking anxiety pen. Okay.
What the fuck, dude? What? Okay, Joe, you suck. Okay, we're gonna move on to the next guest.
This is the best Dean Withers has ever seen. In fact, it's so good it almost tops this. In case you don't read Norwegian. Dude, it sounds like an exorcism. Not gonna lie, a lot of these guys who have these like men's programs, just saying,
can do anything men can do, except math, chess, running, jumping, lifting stuff, fixing things, making money, hockey, surfing, driving, making decisions, being tall, taking out the garbage, tipping, fishing, being funny on purpose, reading a map, listening to good bands, writing, running the country, inventing anything important, or being fun to hang out with.
Oh my god, my friends!
Oh my god, these friends are so annoying.
My friend's asking me to go on a girls trip with them.
Nope.
Wait, why?
Because I don't like your friends.
Well, we don't like you either. Why don't you like them?
Because she's emotional and she wants to party with me.
Just because I hook up with every person I see doesn't mean I'm a
When you have a boyfriend, it does.
Okay, I understand why you don't like her, but what do my emotions have to do with you not liking me?
Every time we're around you, you're crying with a new problem and I have to deal with it.
How do you deal with it?
Because Debbie hates it too, and then she complains to me about how annoying you are. See what I mean?
No, I'm not gonna cry.
You are really emotional.
There she goes.
And what's wrong with wanting to party and have fun?
It's not a problem if you're single. She's not.
Are you that insecure that you don't trust her to party without you?
Oh, I trust her. I just don't trust you or the other single horny guys that don't care if she's in a relationship.
Babe, don't you think you're being a little bit ridiculous?
That reminds me that I'm going on a boys trip with Justice, Matt, and Kevin this weekend.
No, I don't like them. All they do is cheat, party, and they're emotional. Oh, I see it now.
Thank you. Anyways, have fun on your trip. She's not coming.
Well, I'm a whore.
100 articles recently about how kids are getting radicalized by alpha male content. The blogs have tried everything to get the kids to stop watching. They even tried putting tampons in their bathroom. That didn't help. They tried telling them the men wear dresses now. That wasn't working. Because the guy over here is like, get pussy, get rich. And they're like, how about get gay and respect pussy? And they're like, I think I'm going to go with this guy. And then they're like, all right, final offer. How about you guys can play in women's sports? Is that doing anything for you? They even tried making videos telling men to cry. Have you ever seen those commercials? Where it'll be like a guy that looks like hard as fuck, like a Mexican gangster, and he'll be like, crying's not just for putos, you know? Or it'll be like a guy that's like a construction worker, and he'll be like, emotions are for cool guys. You find out that he wasn't a construction worker. It was an actor from Hollywood that they put in a construction worker outfit to say construction worker. Isn't that offensive to construction workers? A guy doing construction worker face and being like, we cry. Like, that's crazy. Like, what do you do for a living? IT. Can you imagine they did a commercial where they put on an IT suit, and what's your name? Robert. Or they go, I'm Robert from IT, and I kiss my dad on the lips. IT guys hold hands with their friends. Can you imagine, guys, like we made our version of that commercial? We just get a girl from Hollywood, we put her in like a traditional outfit where she's just like a housewife, and she's like, as a woman, sometimes we do need to calm down. And I speak for all feminists to say, we are overreacting often.
In my 20s, I met a guy who made me seriously consider ruining my life for 36 hours while I was on a girls' trip in Punta Cana. At the time, I was in a long-term relationship that I'd wanted to...
Did you catch that? When I was on a girls' trip in Punta Cana. Oh, really? Okay, continue.
And for months, but kept losing the balls to do so because we lived together. And because there wasn't anything technically wrong with my boyfriend, I just felt dead inside when I was with him. Punta Cana guy was the opposite of everything my boyfriend was. Tattoo.
Because there wasn't anything inherently wrong with him. See, gentlemen, perfect is boring. Where have we read that before? Read it in the Rational Mail before a certain other blogger steals it from you.
Irresponsible, and untethered by the demands of a job that requires you to pay taxes. I immediately went back to New York City after the trip and broke up with my boyfriend, panic searched for an apartment, and miraculously found a place willing to approve me and allow me to move in 3 days later. A month later, Punta Cana guy came to visit me in New York. I expected fireworks. Instead, I got a man standing awkwardly in my kitchen asking if I had oat milk. The magic vanished the moment real life stepped in. He wasn't freedom. He was just the decoy that reminded me I wanted it. What I realized then is what I'll offer you now. Sometimes we attach all of our unmet hunger to a version of ourselves we're desperate to return to. A freer, more alive, less auto...
Okay, now, bring it on home for us. Land the plane here. Give us that rationalization.
Pilot version. But that person isn't always the solution. Sometimes they're just a spark that reminds you you've gone numb. Maybe this guy from 2 years ago isn't your husband. Maybe he's just a lighthouse for the part of you that wants out of something. Not
the lighthouse. Wow. I'm not done healing yet.
Necessarily your relationship, but the version of your life that feels too small, too polite, and too invested in dinner parties where no one says what they actually mean. You don't need to blow up your life, but you do need to ask, what part of me have I silenced?
It's like an episode of Friends and Neighbors. Do you ever see that yet on Apple TV?
In order to be happy. And what would it look like to let her speak without needing to sleep with a ghost from the past to feel like her again? You're not crazy, you're just craving aliveness. Don't confuse that craving for a person. That's how people end up crying in Ubers with their wedding dress and a garment bag.
I love it. Hey, check me out here. Here's my newsletter. That's all a pitch, too. That's the thing that kills me. Okay, your favorite and mine, Timu, Mia Khalifa.
All the iterations of sex work, I feel like OnlyFans is the most humanizing. Out of all the sex work, and I use sex work very, very loosely. So when I say sex work, I include things like Hooters. Like some people are like, oh, that's not sex work.
I would consider that sex work.
I would too. I would say that's more dehumanizing because those women are playing a role, right? They're wearing a costume.
Okay. I would like to point out that those women are playing a role and they're wearing a costume. This is being said to you by a woman who is still wearing Mia Khalifa glasses with no fucking lenses in them. So who's playing the role here and who is wearing the costume, Pookie?
Not really showing their personality, they're playing a role. A person's not even using her real name. She's again playing a role versus the OnlyFans girl. Typically,
you think Farah is her real name? Because it sure ain't Mia Khalifa, I can tell you that.
You subscribe to a girl because you already know them. Is that necessarily progressive? Not really, but I think that's way more progressive than just going to Hooters and being like, I'm just in the mood to see like a hot blonde with today, or I'm just going to go to a club because I want to see a brunette today, or I'm going to go.
I just kind of want to go see the dime store version of Mia Khalifa today. Where could I find one of those?
I'm going to specifically seek out.
Oh, that's right, OnlyFans.
Like a 18 to 24-year-old redhead today. Like I think
she is like so like she is so obliviously unself-conscious. It's amazing to me. Like every time shit rolls out of her mouth.
That's way more dehumanizing than being like, oh, like I find this girl Farah hot on TikTok. Like I'm gonna go look at her OnlyFans, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
No, I don't want to look at Farah. I want to look at a substitute for Mia Khalifa. That's what I'm looking for, and still hasn't managed to find those lenses.
From a business point of view, I like it actually because you have more control.
Yeah.
The reason I'm bringing that up is because when Mike and I were on whatever podcast, she was sitting across from me, and to his credit, Brian was like, "Are those prescription glasses?"
3 months ago, we were out at this neighborhood block party. Some guy, pretty drunk. Now I'm scared I lost more than the fight, you know? I don't want to pressure her, but I'm worried I'm turning into a roommate who pays the bills and tells bedtime stories.
You're turning into the perfect boyfriend, but the Asian chick just
guess I'm asking, is this normal trauma fallout? Do wives sometimes like pull back after seeing their husbands hurt? And if so, how do I bring the romance back without sounding like I'm begging?
You are asking the wrong guy that question.
I saw someone talking about a saying like a top tier man is just an average woman, and it's the realest thing ever. It was like even a man who doesn't smoke, doesn't gamble, doesn't drink, doesn't cheat, all of that is something every one of my female friends could do, and they could do more than that. Which is why those standards were originally considered the bare minimum, but now
Is there something wrong with her septum?
now it can't be because so many people can't reach the bare minimum, so the threshold is getting lower and lower. So I know this one dude in college, he goes to an Ivy, so like he's pretty smart.
All right, hold on. Before she goes on, I have to point this out. I dragged this off of, I think it was Brian from whatever podcast, so hat tip to him first. Second of all, this is a new trend on TikTok right now where these chicks, and I don't know, maybe it's the Asian girls because I've only seen this from like 2 Asian girls right now. But apparently the meme for like, I don't know if you probably seen this already before. The meme for guys talking about women like they're being, empowered. Like I make my own money and I pay my own bills and I do this. And guys have been saying this, especially in the red pill space and manosphere for a long time. You're just an adult. Like you just because you pay your bills and all this other stuff and you live in your own apartment and you make your own money and you went to your school and everything, that's called being an adult that guys have had to do for forever. Now this is the flip of this. This is the flip. Like somebody picked up on this and just basically flipped the gender roles and saying, so now it's that they're just basically turning it back on guys.
He literally just doesn't party because he's not that type of person, so he doesn't drink. And then for some reason, the whole population is like, oh my gosh, he's husband material. Like, he smokes and gambles, so just because he's a college student that doesn't party doesn't mean he's not out there doing something else. But there just happens to be so many girls out there saying, oh my gosh, he's like the best person on campus. Like, if I don't marry him, there's no one else. Girl, there's definitely other people. And also, every single one of my friends that
there's Punta Cana guy.
doesn't gamble, doesn't cheat, they're good to family, they go above and beyond, we plan hangouts together.
and you don't want to have anything to do with them.
They make effort. But if you saw that in a guy, you'd be like, oh my gosh, like that's insane. He's like so amazing. Not
Like, who the fuck is saying this?
saying there aren't good guys out
Did you not see the other Asian chick that was on a few minutes before
there
you?
because there are so many of the sweetest people ever. But I'm just saying the double standards are crazy.
That's not a double standard, actually. We've been talking about this for a long time from strong, independent women. Yeah. No, you're actually an adult. Thank you. Continue. I was a little bit disappointed from this guy who I have nothing but the highest respect for, so I'm going to put this on here at the end.
But real talk, man, the red pill community, bruh, when I first found it, I found it to be very interesting and intriguing.
So I wasn't, it's MJ 3000. What the heck what does he go by? I forget what he goes by. He has a different name.
Because it was like, damn, this is kind of cool. It was kind of like the barbershop conversation. You at the court with the homies. You know what I'm saying? And y'all just chopping it up about y'all what y'all got going on in y'all lives, and I thought it was cool. But then, man, it kind of was getting weird, bro. Like where all they want to do is just talk about women, and then
yeah, that's the red pill, bro. I don't know if you picked up on this, but yeah, is it? No, it's not Derek Jackson.
It's Myron Jackson.
Myron Jackson.
And the crazy thing is, like, women and dating, that's all they want to talk about. And then the women they talking about women we don't even care about. Women we not even interested in dating. You feel me? And I'm like, what we doing? When is the conversation going to change? When we?
Right, so I'm throwing this in here because I'm going to get into it with Adam Sosnick and PBD and the meltdown here. But I wanted to sort of preface this because this is a very common misperception.
I'm gonna start building, and I just think it was like a lack of leadership. You feel me? Whereas like, yeah, women is cool, dating is cool, but there's so many other aspects to being a man than a woman, right? So for me, I've never really had no problems when it comes to dating. You know what I'm saying? But I had to work to build
Can't imagine why.
myself up. So that's why when I tell all the men in my community, you know what I'm saying, you included, it's an easy way to go about it, right? We're gonna work on your foundation, your body, because that's your temple, right? Then we're gonna work on your mental jewels, we're gonna work on your emotions, and then we're gonna work on your pockets. Because there's steps to it. You feel me? And those are the conversations that I was hoping that the red pill was gonna shift into.
Okay, so here's the thing is like you either take the red pill whole or you pick and pull. And that's what these guys think the red pill is it's pick and pull. It's not. You take masculinity as it is, warts and all. And sometimes that means discussing observations we have about women. And I think that's one of the biggest misperceptions right now, the manosphere right now, is that anything that is an observation is almost always conflated as a complaint right now.
And then it's like you lead these men in like such a crazy direction where they lost out here. You know what I'm saying? Even you, when we had the conversation about everything, bro. Because you were filled with all that bullshit, that toxic shit. And it's crazy, man. So, bro, I can't rock with it. But, it is what it is. It looked like it's dying a slow death. Thank God. Let's go.
Yeah, well, we'll see how that works out for you. Welcome. Yes, that was Myron Jackson.
Myron
Jackson. Yeah. Quite honest, and I'll be the first one to say this again. I think and I have the utmost respect for Mike Rashid, but again, blue pill alphas, and it's like you either. See, the thing that kills me is like it's not even the red pill that makes observation like this. It's every day on social media. You can't. It's not the manosphere. It's not the red pill. It's TikTok. It's Instagram. It's Twitter. It's Facebook. Pick your poison, right? Pick whatever social media platform you want. I mean, you're gonna like people say, well, you're the product of what you're consuming online. Yeah, because what happens is the algorithm figures out what you want to see and it feeds you more of that. It's not the algorithm. It's you.
Also how you digest it.
It's also how you digest it. Exactly. So I was going to get into a few things. Now I went and what Well, welcome. I guess I should probably do my announcements first, shouldn't I? I'm going to jump right in today because, man, yeah, F1 is. I heard F1 is pretty good actually. With
I'm going Tuesday.
I'm going to watch it. I can get it on. Is it only in theaters?
I'm not sure.
I think you can get it on Apple TV, right?
Pretty sure you can.
Which I have. Yeah, so I'll probably watch Brad Pitt and all that. It looked pretty good.
Yeah,
and I like F1 driving anyway. Unless it's here in Nevada,
Yeah.
right here in Las Vegas, I got to close down the whole damn city, right? Yeah. So, anyways, I just got back from. I still have shingles, man. It's fucking killing me. It's not all this shit's gone. I'm no longer contagious. Thank you very much. It's just like the nerve pain underneath this. I don't know if you ever had shingles, but it just goes on and on and on. Just kill me. And the thing that gets me is like I've been like almost. It's like week 5, almost 6, and like I have not been to the gym in 6 weeks. This is the longest I have ever not been in the gym, and I'm like, oh my. So I'm gonna head back to Powerhouse on Monday and see if I can like thug it out.
It's like little shocks by your joints. Right?
Oh, dude, it feels like somebody took like 30 grit sandpaper to your back and then put fire ants on your back and then like little like cattle prod, little low voltage shocks here and there and stuff. It's just and I don't like when I'm doing the show. I'm preoccupied doing shit. Like if I'm thinking about something else, or if I'm like I went fishing when I went trout fishing actually when I was in Tahoe. Didn't think about it at all. Didn't hurt a bit. Walking around, hiking around, comes back, lay down to go to sleep. Oh my God, what the fuck? You know, because you're thinking about it. Now you don't have anything to preoccupy you. So yeah, fucking kills, man. Oh God, I don't know. Everyone, I would not. Okay, maybe I wish this on Destiny. Other than that, I would not. Even Pearl, I would not even wish this on Pearl. Okay, yeah, shingles sucks. It actually sucks. Please, by the way, I'm going to be the advocate here. If you are anywhere between 40 and 50 years old, get the fucking vaccine. Like that's the one thing I wish I would have done is get the shingles vaccine because God damn, man, it fucking hurts. Yeah. Destiny's out. Destiny's long gone. I love it. You know, it's funny. So like the Dean Withers thing. Oh my God, Dean. Tap into that, man. Tap into that energy, man. That's the Dean of that. Like off his meds, Dean Withers is the best Dean Withers.
My anxiety pen.
My anxiety pen. You know, somebody's made a T-shirt. It's on like Sticker Mule. Somebody on some smart guy on Sticker Mule. And if they don't, I'm gonna do it. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah. Oh my God. He's unlistenable in anything else. And probably because he's on his anxiety pen. Like, drop that shit, man. You want to grow your brand and me overnight, stay off the freaking anxiety pen. Like, are all these kids on meds? Are they all on Vyvanse? Are they all on anxiety medication? Are they all on like,
honestly,
holy shit?
I think those type of content creators are because how much hate and shit they get.
Yeah. Cause they can't. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
But
I've been doing this since 2017. So it's like, and then even before that, because I always had to deal with people in forums and shit like that from back in the day. I think I have a pretty Teflon skin as it is, but like, how old is Dean? Was he 20?
Like 20 something?
20 something? Yeah. So he's still like developing his toughness. So such as it is, we'll see what happens. We'll keep an eye on the kid. I was watching out for you, Dean. Just watching out for you. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm back. I did a show from the road. I actually did a show from Reno from the hotel room last Sunday. It was actually pretty decent one. But I talked about Where Are All the Men? Because just recently, and oddly enough, Tim Pool was talking about this. The Wall Street Journal just put out a story. The Wall Street Journal. This ain't the New York Post. This is the Wall Street fucking Journal. Put out this story about like where all the guys, bring them all back. How come, we miss you, men, which is essentially it's the Wall Street Journal. So remember, this is probably that same effort on sort of liberal leftist Democratic side trying to get the boys to come back to the Democratic Party. WSJ, not going to work. Still not working. When you have comedians like that, one guy I was showing you,
Tosh.0.
Yeah. When he's like making fun of you, you pretty much jumped the shark. It's over for you guys. You're gonna have to find some. I think the only thing that the Democrats can do right now, like the sort of the lefty wokesy side of the aisle can do right now, is just amplify. They just double down, amplify the hate. Just it's worked this far, right? Marginalize. Keep doing what you've been doing, man. Just keep marginalizing. Trying to get guys to like in any way embrace your ideology is a fool's errand at this point. So you might as well just do exactly what, I don't know, Farrah and Destiny and Jasmine Jafar and and Pixie and and Not So Erudite and all the rest of these scumbags who took money from I don't know, Progressive Victory in the DNC when they literally bought their voices and forced them to sign NDAs so that they couldn't say anything different. I want to say right now, I have nothing but the utmost respect for Sean Kelly. And by the way, I have done a second interview with Sean, which should be coming out pretty soon, I think. But I've got one more video, by the way, to show you later on that was part of Farrah. Fava beans. Farah's interview with Sean Kelly. But and maybe Sean's not aware of this, but whenever you platform these people, I'm going to have to call this out, and so I have to call this out for Sean too. You're platforming the DNC. You're platforming Progressive Victory. You're platforming a political action committee every time you put them on here. I don't care who it is. I don't care what they're, we don't get paid anymore. No, but you did. And you took money, and it should be an asterisk beside everything you say, Jasmine Jafar, everything you say, Fair, everything you say, Not So Erudite, Destiny, Vouch, whoever else. I don't know who else was part of that whole shtick. All of you are paid. You are sock puppets, and people who, and same goes for Brian. I would say the same thing to Myron. I would say the same thing to Sean Kelly. Anytime you put these people on your platform, you are platforming a political. They're political operatives, is what they are. And maybe you knew, maybe you didn't know, but now you do. So you can't say you don't know anymore. But that's what they are. Pixie definitely was one of them. Even though she's now, I don't know if her lawsuit is still a thing, but I know that there are at least 4 women that came out against Destiny, and he hasn't said jack shit about it, which wisely he's keeping his mouth shut. So, which is more than I could say for what he's been a part of recently. But again, you're going to have to put an asterisk by this guy. Why you're giving this, let's see, admitted sex offender, why you're giving this guy a platform? You're just participating in aggrandizing this. So, am I wrong? I'd like to know. If you think I'm wrong, please let me know. But anyways, and Not So Erudite belongs in the same prison cell as Destiny because she aided and abetted a criminal act. So anyways, yeah, Harvey Weinstein. Thank you. Yes, Destiny is the Harvey Weinstein of political action committees. But anyways, so the story was from the Wall Street Journal, where are all the men? We need to bring all the men back. And of course, they're trying to couch it in sort of like more politic neutral language, but really that's what it is. They're just basically trying to do outreach for wokesy Democratic interests, let's just say. But I thought it was interesting because I had to sort of backtrack what I was talking about on last Sunday's show, because when I'm about to show you what I didn't show you yesterday on the crypto show, which is the stream, or the 10-minute clip, I should say, of Adam Sosnick and going head to head with Patrick Bet David. And I will give you a little bit of a heads up here before I dive right into this. Adam Sosnick's not wrong in this. And I'll be the first to say, and now I think Patrick Bet David is all brand. I think that's all he's ever been is all brand. On yesterday's show, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, I did a crypto show with Charlie and your brother Miguel.
Yeah.
They have a crypto mindset. It's Q3, right?
Yeah,
quarter three. Yeah, Q3, Q4. Coming up, if you would like to be a part of that, I'm going to audit at least 2 of those classes this time. And I think your brother wanted me to come and do like a quick talk with me and Fresh on one of those. So I think I might even take him up on that at some point. But if you're interested in the
Q3,
Q3 Cultivate Crypto classes, you can get, it's the very first link in the description right there. Please use my link. That's the whole reason I put it on there. But registration for that link only is open until Thursday. So go check it out. Anyway, so I was talking about this, and I was gonna get into this a little bit, but if you know anything about me and Miguel, we kind of have a little bit of a history with Patrick Bet David, a slight one. Actually, the whole reason we're in this studio right now doing what we're doing, courtesy of Patrick Bet David being Patrick Bet David. And the reason I say that is because in the summer of July, actually, of 2022, was the time that Miguel and I actually had dinner, sat down to a restaurant with Patrick Bet David's, Adam Sosnick, Vinny, the guy who's actually going to be part of this video you'll see. He was just coming on board back then. He's a quote unquote comedian. Never seen his stuff, so I can't say how funny Vinny really is. But anyways, I didn't take the deal, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't. I had ideas and dreams of actually relocating out to Florida right around the middle of 2022. I'm glad I didn't, because essentially the deal I was offered was you can use our studios at Valuetainment, but we're going to own your brand, we're going to own your content, we're going to own all this other stuff, and you have to move out here on your own dime. There was basically no contract whatsoever. It was just like you could just basically use the studio if that's what you wanted to do. Now, unfortunately, that was the deal that Jevani Abila took, and I'm thinking that the reason why she took so long coming back was most likely because she signed some agreement. I don't know exactly what it is, and this is just me speculating. I can't say. She can tell you better than I could. But most likely, I do know this for a fact, that Valuetainment does own the quote-unquote Jevani Abila show, registered trademark. So they do own that, which is one of the things that they were talking to me about. And then they own all of her content, which was part of the deal that I turned down. And I'm glad to say that I did. And it was at that time where I was talking to Miguel on the way back from the restaurant. And I said, there's no way I'm taking this. This is bullshit. I said, I've worked too damn hard to go back to being anybody's bitch again. I'm not going to be anybody's employee. And I basically, as self-aggrandizing and full of myself as this is going to sound, I'm a bigger deal than Patrick Bet David is in the manosphere. Bigger deal than he is in my niche. I'm way bigger deal. In his own niche, yes, most definitely. Yeah, there's no way I could touch PBD in his own niche. But especially during that time when I had already helped launch Jevani Abila's show, I'd helped launch Adam Sosnick's show. Helped them get to 100,000 subs in under a year, which was like, considering how long it took me to get to 100,000 subs and how long it took Myron and Fresh, which was longer than these guys, to get to 100,000 subs. Things were starting to take off, and I was really hoping we're going to be able to work out some sort of contract or something like that. It never materialized. And so it was at that point that Miguel actually suggested, hey, let's just go fucking do it in Las Vegas. There's no West Coast presence for any of this, because the only thing that was going on at the time was Rogan was in Austin, Texas. Yeah. And then there was, and then the Blaze at the time, they're not there anymore, but Blaze was also in Texas. And then Nashville had Daily Wire, and they had PragerU, which I think still do. And then in Miami, you had all of these. You had Fresh and Fit. You had all these. You had Dave Rubin moved there. You had Valuetainment. You had all these other people who were sort of coming up. So there's only like 3 states, and none of them were on the West Coast. And even you could argue that Las Vegas is not technically West Coast, but it's Western Coast. Then if you don't want to do business in California, and I suggest you don't, Las Vegas is the only other option there. And so, to our credit, I think we made the right choice, and here we are. And let's see, next month will be 1 year that we have been in this studio in Red One Studios. Yay! I don't have the crowd. But so we're coming up on a year, and I was mentioning to Miguel yesterday, there was a video in 2022 that Patrick Bet David did, and he was just popping. It was like maybe a 20-minute video about Valuetainment. And we're moving into this great new studio. We're moving out of the vault. We're moving into this new studio. We're going to do these live shows. At the time, he only had 2 shows. He had Adam Sosnick's show, and he had Jevani Abila's show. Okay. Jedediah bugged out at the beginning of 2023, I think, or the middle of 2023. Adam Sosnick has not done Soscast in at least 9 months now. And when we watch this video, you'll know why. And everything I speculated on, 100% correct. But so anyways, so then that pared it down to just Adam Sosnick's show. And I think Patrick Bet David, you've heard me say this before, Patrick Bet David probably wanted him to back up off of the red pill content, certainly the latter half of 2023 and all of the election cycle of 2024, which is exactly what I said would happen. All these people who were so gung-ho about the red pill and they all wanted to pile on and everybody wanted to be a part of it and everybody wanted to be, even if they weren't red pill, they wanted to be red pill adjacent. Ain't nobody want to be adjacent anymore. Everybody either wants back in or they're never coming back. And so it was at that time during 2022 that Patrick Bet David had done this big, glorious video about like, oh, we're going places, we're doing this, we're going to have comedy shows, and we're going to do documentaries, and we're going to do these, and we're going to do this, and we got some big name celebrities coming. Like literally says we have, so I can't mention who, but we have some big name celebrities that are coming on board, and had me going too, because this is the time where The Blaze was a big deal. PragerU was a big deal. Daily Wire was a big deal. And I thought Valuetainment was the come up at that time. Mm-hmm. Nope. Valuetainment is just a side hustle for Patrick Bet David, because Patrick Bet David is about Patrick Bet David. Now, you guys will probably also recall the time during, I think it was the beginning of 2023, where everybody thought I had some problem with Adam Sosnick, or everybody thought I had like some beef going on with him. It wasn't Adam. It was Valuetainment that I had a problem with, because I had Jedediah Bila wanted me to come out and do some shows with her. I had Adam Sosnick wanted me to come out and do some shows. I said, that's fine. Just cover my travel costs. They would only cover $1,000. That, I don't know if you guys have traveled from Reno, Nevada to Miami, Florida. That's an $800 trip right there. So nothing else was, basically I had to take money. I didn't do it, but I would have had to take money out of my pocket to go there and help them make money. And I just said, all I wanted was to break even, because they're my friends. I would be happy to just go there, just pay for the hotel. I would cover food. I'll cover Uber. Just pay for my flight and pay for my hotel. Wouldn't even do that. And all I was saying was $1 extra grand. Just give me $2,000, right? So I got like $800 to $1,000 to cover my flight, and then I've got 5 days in Fort Lauderdale, close to the studios. Yeah, you're looking at probably about anywhere between $800 and $1,000, right? So I'm like, but this is the guy that puts out videos of his $25 million mansion with a yacht slip and driving his Bugatti motorcycle. I had no idea there was a Bugatti motorcycle. Or was it a Lambo? Was Lamborghini make motorcycles too? I don't know. Anyways, and I'm like, what's an extra grand to these cheapskates, right? But that was it. I'm like, well, fine, I can't do it then. You know, I'm not going to spend my own money to help you guys make a shit ton of money by co-branding with you for 2 or 3 shows. Why? Because I'm losing money. I could be writing books. I could be doing my own podcast. I could be doing my own brand development. Why am I going to do this? I'm doing you the favor by coming out there. All I'm asking you to do is just fucking, give me a reach around, man. And that was apparently a bridge too far for these guys. And so, Adam took it real personally back then. And I don't think he's taking it personally now. Just saying. But again, I've never had a problem with Adam Sosnick. He's been on Access Vegas since then. And Adam Sosnick, when he is cut loose from Valuetainment, that's the Dean Withers without the fucking anxiety pit. That's what I want. I want Adam Sosnick free and clear of Valuetainment, because he is a different animal, and he's entertaining and he's fun and he's cool and he does great content when it's just, he's so much better than this bullshit that he had to endure. And the thing is, and so the red pill part of this, so we're going to get into a little bit more game, and we're going to get into some nuts and bolts here. And I'll tell you what's great about this whole video clip is it's really pertinent to what I was talking about last week when they were talking about we need the men to come back, right? Well, it's not men coming back. It's also women having to actually check themselves and have some sort of some kind of insight. Because yes, women are to blame for the decline in marriage. Women are to blame for the decline in the fertility rates. And that's more or less what Adam Sosnick was trying to convey to Patrick Bet David in this clip that I'm about to show you and riff on a little bit for you. Essentially, he was saying the same thing. He's like, there's no women want to be a wife. And oddly enough, that's what the Wall Street Journal was getting into. Women didn't want to, the newest one, the most recent one that Tim Pool was just talking about recently. Women don't want to become wives. Because men ain't shit. They're not worth their while. Average women don't want to get with average men. And that's the problem. And again, it's a problem of perception. It's not a problem of actualization. Because when we're talking about like, oh, well, who's getting married and who's doing what? Only elite men are getting married. Only elite couples are getting married because they're the only ones who can afford to, or to even entertain the idea of quote unquote romantic love. And it's not even romantic love at this point. It's a prenup. It's a business arrangement. It's a business partnership at this point. And even then, we're just looking at what the Bezos wedding with Lauren Dirty Sanchez, right? What was it? 50 mil, 55?
I think it was 60.
Yeah, close to 60, 55, $60 million for this wedding. How many starving children could we have fed with that kind of money? What kind of social change could we have done with that kind of cash, right? She was wearing the wedding ring is $2.5 million. And someone said she was wearing anywhere between 20 and $30 million worth of jewelry. And the wedding dress alone, and not the wedding itself, the actual dress and the jewelry she was wearing, right? And if you know anything about Lauren Sanchez and who she was dating before Jeff Bezos, like NBA players, rappers, and so she is like a career predatory female. And man, she's just basically signing her name on $230 billion, inheriting $230 billion. As soon as Jeff Bezos is out of the picture. And I hope Jeff Bezos lives a long time. I'm not making any forecasts here. But wow. So in the shadow of the Bezos wedding, we have the meltdown between Sosnick and Patrick Bet David. And it's just unbelievable, man. And I'm glad you brought that up. What's worse than a simp, a rich simp? Yes. Let me explain a couple other things, just since we're on the topic, since you brought up simp here, because I wanted to point this out before I jumped into I'm glad you brought this up. I wanted to point this out before I jump into the video itself. Somebody was talking about, I think it was some chick was on Twitter. I think it was like yesterday or the day before. She was talking about chivalry. And she's like, men should be chivalrous just for the sake of being chivalrous. I'm like, well, of course, what's the joke? What's the saying? What's the idiom? Well, chivalry is dead and feminism killed it. Okay, fine. Whatever. I don't believe that for a second. But the thing is chivalry dead? Absolutely. Did feminism kill it? No, it was a combination of a lot of things. But yeah, you're technically right about that. But the thing is I love the attitude when it comes to chivalry about this self-sacrificial presumption that men are going to be martyrs. Men are going to are the sacrificial sex, and they ought to be happy to be part of that. That just should be something that is hardwired, and for a lot of men, it is hardwired into them. But I thought it was interesting because I kept hearing in the back of my head Tristan Tate talking about how simping, the definition, the literal definition of simping is an unequal exchange of value, and there is no institution that embodies that more than chivalry. It is literally an unequal exchange of value. And then I thought about it a little bit further, and then I was kind of like, it reminded me of the conversation that Andrew Wilson had with Tommy Lahren. And when Andrew Wilson says, well, you want men who are taller than you, stronger than you, richer than you, are more educated than you, more funny than you, all these things, but we're supposed to be your equals, right? I mean, that's how the whole thing plays out. But then he says, but what's in it for guys? What's other than your cooter, which can be either purchased or had fairly easily if you're a high value guy, other than that, what else? What is the equal exchange of value, right? And does it even have to be? Because I'm of the opinion at this state where I'm thinking there's no possible way there can be an equal exchange of value. If you want, like ladies, if you want a high value man, and if only a high value man will do, and you won't settle for anything less, you're asking for a simp. You are asking for a guy who embodies the literal definition of a simp. It is an unequal exchange of value. And in fact, it's a morally imperative for that guy to accept him being a simp, for him to be better than you, stronger than you, bigger than you, more than you, make at least another 60% more than you're making at this time. That's why I keep saying marriage is for elite men, because according to women's standards, those are the only guys that will do. Okay, well, if that's the case, you're asking for a simp. You're asking for a guy who has all of these certainly these transactional traits. You know, he's got to have the money. He's got to come from a good family. He's got to like puppy dogs, want kids in his future, want a traditional family. And all your women aren't willing to be that traditional woman, but that's beside the point, because it shouldn't matter to him, because he should be so dedicated and committed to chivalry that it shouldn't make any difference. All chivalry is simpery in the 21st century. It is an unequal exchange of value. Fight me on this. Somebody tell me, I want to be wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me how chivalry isn't being a simp. Tell me how this masculine duty that the I'm maybe not Andrew Wilson, but like guys like Michael Knowles, guys like Matt Walsh, guys like I don't know, Ben Shapiro, whoever, Andrew Klavan, whoever else. Name the guy who, you know, pinnacle of a man, or whatever these you know, sort of, they got the cross in their bio, the little cross emoji in their bio. Okay, cross guy. Tell me how that's not how your idea of chivalry isn't simping, because that's what it is. You expect me to have all this shit, and I'm supposed to do it for nothing, for pussy. Either that or pussy better be fucking like the God pussy. That better be a divine experience, man. That better be like divine intervention. A woman's pussy better be the best goddamn pussy I have ever had in my life to balance out that chivalry equation right there. You know, I was like, holy shit, I never know it could be this fucking great. Awesome, man. Yeah, all that chivalry stuff, no problem. Here you go. I'll make it rain. Like, you wanted me to be, oh, gosh, your pussy's so much better. Oh, and then, by the way, you're also going to stay in shape. You're going to have big tits. You're going to have a nice, thigh gap.
Thigh gap, yeah.
Yeah, I joked about this. Well, I was actually half serious about this at one point, where I was like, if women expect a man to be elite level, to be an elite level high value, to be Justin Waller, right? To have the elite level good looks, elite level like masculinity, a dominant masculinity, to be chivalrous. Definitely, you know, he's got that southern gentleman thing going for him. He's going to open the door for you, and yes ma'am, no ma'am, you know, but you know what, the price you got to pay is open on his end, closed on your end. that's part of the deal. But other than that, I mean, if you're going to expect that, you're going to expect a guy to, and I don't think women really realize this, like, sort of en masse, but I don't think women really understand. Hell, most men don't understand the amount of sacrifice and the amount of just insane work that has to go into becoming that elite level guy. I mean, blood, sweat, and tears every day. I have to kill guys every day. I have to fight other dudes every day. I have to not only go out there and get it, I have to protect it and keep it. I have to keep my wealth. I have to keep my sanity. I have to keep my drive, my creativity, my ideas. I have to protect myself, protect what I have, make sure that it's not enough just to get the house and the car and everything else. I have to make sure no one else can take it away from me. I have to be able to do that to the most insane levels of extremes that, well, most men and damn near every woman can never truly understand. But yet that's the baseline. That's just what might do. Remember, I was just showing you the chicks who were saying, oh yeah, well, these guys, women can do this all day long. I mean, guys think they're special because they do this. No, you don't understand. Those guys aren't the guys you want to fuck. Those guys aren't the guy. Average women don't want to get with average men. So what does it take to go from ordinary to extraordinary? You have to literally be insane. What is it? It's a 40K proverb, right? It's only the insane have the strength to prosper, and only those who prosper can truly judge what is sane. I don't know. That's probably something where they ripped this off from someone else, but it's true. You have to get to that point of just absolute you have to be off of your anxiety pen to get to that level. That's why I say, Dean, stay off the anxiety. You will be much more successful if you're not taking the anxiety pen. But to get to that point, okay, what's the trade-off? I better have the same level, the same extreme, the same degree of take your clothes off right now and let's fuck right here on the stairs. That's the level of insanity I want you to have for me. That's the insane level of genuine desire that woman is going to have for you, for there to be what? An equal exchange of value. Because if not, I'm a simp. I'm a simp for even entertaining talking to you. Because if those are your standards, insane success, or success that requires a level of insanity in its extreme, then the only thing I can expect in return for that is an insane level of fucking. Oh, don't even bother. Here's which girl do you want? We're gonna have a 5-way. You pick 4 girls, or pick 3 girls, right? Like that's the level of insanity. That's the level of extremes, and no woman is ever going to be able to do that. No one is. In fact, that would be offensive. If I were to bring that up with Tommy Lair and say, you know what, Tommy, guess what? I'm willing to meet you halfway. Okay, great. Awesome. But you got to fuck me like a wild animal. I'll do everything you want me to, whatever you think my masculine duties are as a good Christian, servant leader of God. You better be able to suck the chrome off a trailer hitch. You better suck my dick like you lost your keys in it. Because I will tell you this right now, and it's like, that's the only, what else? Because they can't answer the question. They can't give you any other alternative to balance the unequal exchange of value. So, ladies, there's 2 options. Well, actually, there's 1 option. You're going to settle. You will settle, ladies. You will settle for one of two things. You'll settle for a guy who is less than optimal, or you'll settle for cats. You will settle for being alone. You will settle for being a spinster. You will settle for some semblance of you rationalize it as normalcy, but you will settle for some level of just, it is what it is. Whether that's with your cats or what that's with, I don't even foist that on cats. I don't even want to inconvenience cats with that. Oh, you're a cat lady. You're going to be a spinster. No. Cats be like, no, fuck this. No, fuck all this. I'm gone. I wouldn't even eat her if she was dead. It's just, that's the level. And this is exactly so why am I getting it? This is the preface. This is the preamble for going into the Patrick Bet David, Adam Sosnick video, because this is exactly what Patrick Bet David does not understand that Adam Sosnick does understand. So with that said, I'm going to bring up the video if I can find it here. And where do we go? Boy, here we go. Okay. I gotta be diplomatic about this. I don't want to, because Adam still technically works for Valuetainment. I don't want to fuck with Adam because I like Adam quite a bit. As I said before, I don't have a problem with Adam Sosnick. In fact, I love him like a brother. It's just I don't like who he's married to, and he's married to Valuetainment. He's married to this guy.
their problem.
I agree.
Okay, then. So I'm not going to feel sorry for you.
You're using that as against me to be like, well, where's your damn family already, bro?
Nobody said that.
This guy said this for the last 5 years. He doesn't have anything. Give Vinny the same vibe that you're giving me.
Nobody said that to you.
Keep that energy with Vinny.
And just a week ago, I had a conversation with you about how we talk over here and certain things we say. You do it again the following week. After I had a conversation with you last week. So if you want to go do something else on somewhere else, do it. Don't do it in a place like this. And I've told you this 50 times.
All right, so here's what's going on. There's been some real tension brewing between Patrick Bet-David and his co-host Adam Sosnick, and in this episode, it finally cracks open. Now, from what I can tell, this wasn't just about one comment or one disagreement. This felt like the result of a long build-up. It all kicked off when Adam started venting about how hard it is these days for men to find women who are, quote, wife material, saying too many are focused on money, careers, and not enough on family. But Patrick saw that as a kind of victim talk. He wasn't buying it at all. Instead, he hit back, accusing Adam of sounding weak, indecisive, even calling him out for being easily influenced. Things definitely get heated from there, and honestly, it's one of the rawest, most uncomfortable moments I've seen on the podcast.
Men are women and women are men. There's no difference. Men and women are not equal. Why? Because equal means the same. We're not the same. You have this magical, amazing ability to have children and give birth. And you're giving it all up to do what? Make a couple extra bucks? And then here's the funniest thing is they say things like, you know, I don't want no man telling me what to do. Listen, bitch, you don't want your husband telling you what to do, but you'll have a random boss telling you what to do? So it doesn't make any sense to me. The happiest, in my opinion, that women were was when they were focusing on family, having kids. They didn't have to stress about work. I'm not saying that they shouldn't work, but prioritize kids and family. That thing's
honestly,
dusty.
with the way your take, I'm surprised you're single, not married.
So
I'm actually very surprised.
I have a
newsflash.
We're not going to play this game because I was married 10 years ago to a woman, very lovely girl.
To a woman, okay.
To a woman, that's
Checks,
right.
got it,
Tom,
check.
you've been with one in your life, you understand. And she wasn't a wife. She wanted to get married, but she wasn't willing to be a wife. So I sent her back out to
the pack,
her pasture,
to the herd.
figured out. And now here's the biggest problem. We can make fun of us all as want. There's a lot of hoes out there. There's a lot of girlfriends out there. There's a lot of girls that you would date. There's not a lot of good wives out there. So who's the one that we talked about? You had sex with 100
It's
guys?
just like your chance to vent because you're done. Okay, so we got it. We understand.
What does that mean?
you're at
I'm
with
done.
this. Yeah, like
What does
I'm
that
good.
mean?
Yeah, you've been speaking plenty of time. We'll move on. So,
but you do notice what's happening in society.
Adam, I got your point. You're in this life, so the only people you're ever with is with nightlife
Pat,
people.
you're
So
absolutely wrong. I'll tell you why
Am I
you're
absolutely wrong?
Yeah, I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Okay, so go ahead, tell us what
because
you're
it's not.
Okay, so this is where I'm gonna jump in here real quick. Right about here is where Patrick's he kind of has to cut things off. And I think one of the reasons why Pat has a problem with the red pill right now and the reason I'm not getting called back to be on the show, I was actually on the show in February of 2022. The reason he's not calling Rollo Tomasi into the vault, by the way, it kills me. He's got this like multi-million-dollar sound stage just 3 blocks away from the vault. He still does all of his shows in the vault. The reason for this is I think that, as I have said in the past, I think one of the reasons why Adam Sosnick has sort of backed up off of the red pill content or the manosphere style content is not because it hasn't been really lucrative for him. It's because Patrick Bet-David doesn't want him to do it anymore. And you'll notice that most of this occurred during the election cycle of 2024, and now we're halfway through 2025, and here we are. So I think that probably Adam realizes that doing his show, he can't do the show he wants to do, and he's really not going to do the money show anymore because that never really played to begin with. So he's kind of in a rock and a hard place. The only show he has is the Patrick Bet-David show. So he can only be the co-host of Patrick Bet-David, and he's always going to live in Pat's shadow. The thing about Adam is I think Adam used to be a stand-up comedian at one point. I know he owns a club in South Beach. I think so. He's done really well for himself. He's got a good chunk of change. He doesn't need to be part of this crew, but then again, he might have signed a similar contract to Jedediah Bila or the one that they wanted me to sign back in July of 2022. So I don't know what the legalities are. I don't know what the logistics of all that are, but I do know this is that as this exchange sort of progresses on, you can get the idea that they've had this conversation before, and Pat is calling it victim talk. And I'm a little bit sick of hearing this same narrative because I hear this all the time. It's not just from Patrick Bet David, but from everybody else. Well, whenever a guy makes an observation about the sexual marketplace or about the nature of women or on anything that might be even remotely related or conflated as being unflattering to women's nature, if you make any observation, if you're a man, if you have a penis hanging between your legs and you make an observation about female nature, you're complaining. That's just how it is. It's victim talk. Do better, motherfucker. Do better. That's what it comes down to. And I hear this from pastors. I hear this from tradcons. I hear this from like man up, pinnacle of a man kind of, guys with their communities and shit like that. Oh, it's victim talk. You guys just pull yourself up by your bootstraps and everything. And you know why Adam is frustrated? Because is now dealing with the same bullshit that I've been dealing with for the last decade. Oh, well, women are, you're going for the wrong girls. You're not vetting for the right girls. You're in that lifestyle. What's that lifestyle? Going out to clubs, where would you like him to go? Patrick Bet David. How do you suggest that Adam Sosnick change his life so that he can find a wife? So that he can, none of these girls want to be wives. Arguably, Adam Sosnick is a high value dude. He's got a lot of money. He's got some recognition. People know who he is. He's a popular guy. He's funny. He's got a lot going for him. A lot of the same things that you'll hear these women. Tommy Lahren was telling Andrew Wilson not too long ago, you got to be this, you got to be that, you got to be sacrificial, you've got to be chivalrous, you've got to be funny, you got to like puppy dogs, her mom and her sisters and her friends have to like you. You've got to like rainbows and Disneyland and fucking want kids in the future and want a golden retriever in the front yard and you got to drive a fucking minivan, all that shit. He could definitely afford all that. He could definitely be that if he wanted to. And yet here we are, still can't find it. Well, where do you expect him to go? Oh, go to Bible study. No, they're not there. The bookstore, the school library, college. Where's he going to go? How would you know, Patrick? Because you've been, and I'm mea culpa as well, right? You haven't been in the sexual marketplace for at least some close to 20 years now. Where do you think he's going to go? And he makes this point later on. I think Adam gets some good digs in here, but Adam is arguably the high value guy that all these women want, but they don't. But they want him. They want Adam. They want Justin Waller. They want Mike Sartain. They want Myron Gaines. They want Rollo Tomasi. They want guys who are making money, have some notoriety to them, have something going for them, some sort of ambition, some sort of drive, some sort of accomplishments, something that they can admire, something that they can be proud of, something they can tell their girlfriends about, that kind of shit, something that they want a feather in their motherfucking cap. I would say Adam certainly qualifies for that. But yet he's still saying all these chicks ain't worth it. Saying basically the same thing Turd Flinging Monkey's been saying for forever. Myron Gaines has been saying forever. I've been saying for forever. I mean, name the guy, right? Now, all of this is victim speak because it doesn't log in and it certainly doesn't play with the audience of Valuetainment because Valuetainment is now supposed to be a political, ideological, sociological narrative show now, and the idea is that they've got more female viewers now than they did before, which I would love to see what their demographics really boil down to. But I don't even think Patrick Bet David knows that because, quite honestly, I don't think he has pulled out any rabbits out of his hat since the time he did that one video saying he's going to do all these great things, as I was mentioning before, in July of 2022 when me and Miguel were there. Hasn't done shit. Except for create a multi-million-dollar soundstage studio that he has no fucking shows in. There's nobody there. There's not even Patrick Bet David is there. He's still in the vault. Nobody's using it except for maybe like Amy Dangerfield and who basically like worked her way through that organization. And then I'm rolling my eyes because I know she was also part of Destiny's crew for quite some time. And then she's, I think they might have one show with Vinny on it. I don't even know. But the only thing they were really using it for was Adam Sosnick's show. And now he doesn't even have that. Hasn't shot that show in 8 or 9 months now. So it's just sitting there unfucking used. Jedediah Bila saw the writing on the wall. She bugged out. Good for her. Whether it was for, health issues. Yeah, mental health issues probably is what it was. But she bugged out. And now she's and what's she doing? And Adam, if you're watching, what is Jed doing right now? She's thriving because she's on her own. She's finally free and clear. She's out from under the heel of the Valuetainment registered trademark. And I've been trying to help her. Mike's been trying to help her. We've all been on Team Jed since day one, and I will continue to be a big supporter of Jedediah Bila. She's been on, for Christ's sake, she's been on Access Vegas, okay? But doing well for herself. Adam Sosnick does not need Patrick Bet David to be successful. In fact, he will be better off once he decides to cut the cords. But anyways, I digress. Here we go. Let's continue.
It's not I'm in this life. Yeah. Every man who's single is in this life.
Yeah.
I get that you're happily married. You have 4 kids.
That's not. No,
that's amazing. No, that is the point.
No, that's not the point.
Of course, it's the point. The point is you don't know what it's like to be single out there and see half the girls you meet are doing OnlyFans.
Adam, where are you looking for these people?
I'm not even saying me.
No, but that's the point.
This is his qualification thing. Where are you meeting these people? The problem has to be with you. The problem is you. It always has to be you. No, Pat. The odds are that women might actually be to blame for the decline in marriage, as today's title might imply. No. And I'll tell you this. There's not even room in Patrick Bet David's very limited experience of the sexual marketplace. There's not even any room in his wiggle room in his headspace for the idea that perhaps maybe even women are halfway responsible for the decline in marriage, or halfway responsible for that. Adam is he's making an observation. It sounds like he's complaining. He's not complaining. He's just making the same observation anybody from as old as Dean Withers up to Rollo Tomasi can see on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, wherever, Facebook, wherever the fuck you want to find that, wherever the video is, wherever the 45-second buzz clip is of some chick talking about men ain't shit. I need a guy who makes this amount of money. I need a guy who's finance, 6'5", trust fund, blue eyes. I bet you didn't know about that stupid meme, did you? And that's the case. The problem is Patrick Bet David does not know what he's talking about, so he defaults to what he thinks he knows, and that is the rah-rah, pep rally, Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, bootstrap yourself up and pep rally shit. It's what we called success porn back in the day. Just be successful, man. Just got to put yourself first. Who's the most important? You're the most important, man.
Where are you looking?
Don't worry about me. I'm good.
No,
I'm talking about the rest of men in society.
No, you're speaking from your perspective.
No,
you're speaking.
Who do you think has more credibility on this topic, me or you?
You're to being around hoes. You, yeah, I agree. You're around this. That's your market.
True that, but also being in,
but if you're asking me who has more credibility, you do in this area.
At this point, Adam's been going off for a while, and Patrick's patience is running out. He doesn't agree with the whole "there are no good women left" angle, and he lets Adam know it. We're about to see Patrick flipping the script, calling Adam out for sounding like a victim, and challenging the mindset behind his whole rant.
How old are you right now, bro?
I'm 45.
45 years old. This is how you're speaking about this?
Yes.
So
okay, so now what he's doing is he's shaming him for his age. Lord knows I've experienced this a million times. How come you dress like that, Rollo? Why do you have a Black Sabbath shirt on, Rollo? You look like you're 14 years old, Rollo. Fuck you. I've been toying with this idea, by the way. That's why I use my my Frank Underwood shot from last for the last thumbnail, because like I'm a chameleon, man. I've done a lot of different looks throughout my life, right? You guys are used to this look right now, but I'll tell you, who's kind of like woke me up to like maybe changing my look lately has been Jake Monroe, goth philosopher, goth professor extraordinary. He could teach a course on goth culture, subcultures, subgenres, because it's like I'm going to decide what I'm going to look like. And I'll tell you this, as if I took a poll and I said, okay guys, what should I do? Should I grow my hair out even longer, or should I go back to the Frank Underwood thing? And if somebody said, oh, the consensus was, oh, Rollo, we want you to go back to looking like this, look like a respectable college professor or something like that, and I did that, you would lose respect for me. Because I did what you said that I should do, not what I want to do, not what my sort of personal, where I'm at personally right now. And by the way, you would do that with anybody, not just me, anybody, because you say, oh, you're just a flip flop. You'll do whatever you're told, right? You'll do whatever the market demands. I've never been like that. I didn't write the Rational Male because I'm like, okay, what do these guys really want? I wrote the book that I wanted to read. And I'm glad you guys wanted to read it too. And it is what it is right now as a result of that, because I didn't do what I thought other people wanted me to do, because I knew damn well I couldn't possibly publish that book through a traditional publishing house. I had to publish it myself. I had to go through this is the only moment in time in the history of humanity that I could actually publish that book. And I put it out there because I felt like that's what I wanted to read. I finally wrote the book and published the book that I wanted to read. And everybody else liked it too. And it's a big hit as a result of that. So I'm not going to make those choices. I'm not going to go and do those things. But the problem I have right now is when people come to me and they'll go, well, imagine being Rollo and he's 57 years old and he looks like that. Yeah, imagine that. Where's my anxiety pin? Imagine that. Because that's all you'll ever be able to do is imagine that. I don't do what people want me to do. I do what I want me to do. And I've worked my ass off to get to the point where I can say, I do what I want me to do. And I think I've been doing pretty well for myself as a result of that. So, whatever. But the thing is like when people tell me this, they're like, well, yeah, you imagine being 57 and looking like that. Okay, well, what would you want me to look like? What should I be doing? Like, what's your mental image of a guy who's 57 years old? What is he doing at 57? Is he like bouncing his grandchildren on his knee and spinning a yarn, and he's got a nice button down, and he's got some sensible Dockers on and some penny loafers, and he's got sort of grayish white hair, and he's talking to his kids about the good old days and how he ran for a touchdown at the homecoming game when he was in high school? Is that what I'm supposed to fucking do? Because that's a cliche, man, and you will never see me doing that. I think it was funny, guys. I was talking to Mike Sartain about it. It was on, I think it was the last Access Vegas. There's a meme going around right now, and I want to say it's whoever the actor was from the old guy from Jurassic Park. The character's name was Hammond, but he was the guy who owned Jurassic. He was the rich guy that owned Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
When he played that role, he was 55 years old.
What?
He looks like he's 70 in that.
God,
now, maybe
does.
they made him look a little older than he was, but the dude still 55, right? If you go and you look at Vincent Castle right now, go look up Vince Castle. Vince Castle's my age. I think he's 57.
Richard Attenborough.
Yeah, you look at guys who are in their mid 50s right now. Look at fucking Jason Statham, for fuck's sake, man. Look at these guys.
Yeah.
Is that what your mental image is of a 57-year-old? Then shut the fuck up, Patrick Bet David. About you're 45? What, shouldn't you be past this? Shouldn't you be mature enough to? No. You know why? Because he's out there killing it and you're not. You've got and maybe that's a flex because I've got a kid, I've got a wife, I've been married longer than Patrick Bet David has. Like, remember when that wasn't a flex? When wasn't that a flex? That wasn't a flex when Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate were throwing rocks at me and Ryan Stone for being married, for having kids. They don't have any receipts. Wait, hold on. Wait. Where do you think this came from? Where'd it go? Oh, man. I can't get my thing to come up.
See.
Oh, hold on. Let me go grab it. Damn it. I need to reinitialize it. There we go. That was it. Is this it? Oh, there we go. Okay. There.
I'm like, man, bro, sometimes you don't get no hoes, man.
You guys remember that? Remember when people would give me shit for, oh, he doesn't have any receipts. And then Andrew and Tristan went to jail, and suddenly they're family men. Suddenly the kids come out of the woodwork. Now that's a receipt.
Anything for an image
Right?
change.
Remember when I did the episode about what was it, the meme that showed Dan Bilzerian with 5 chicks like hanging off him, like, I mean, they're fucking fine ass chicks. I know because I've seen them before. And then there's the guy who's got like, he's got this beautiful blonde wife. He's like 6 blonde babies, and then he's showing the pregnancy the test for the 7th one that's on the way. You know, like, oh, this is a flex, not this, right? Yeah, it is now. To rewind the fucking tape back to 2016, you'll be saying something a whole lot different. It's all how things change along the way. So to shame Adam Sosnick for being 45 years old and not being married, or not, oh, you're just, this is where you're running. I can't believe you're 45 and you're not like doing what, Pat? Going to Bible study? I don't know. Dating a librarian? Like what? They're never very specific about that. Imagine being like this. You know, it's funny. Do you know Phil Labonte from All That Remains? Like, good friend of mine, right?
Yeah.
He's a regular on Tim Pool. He is my age. I think he's a year younger, or maybe he's about the same age as I am. And you know what's funny is, like, if you don't know that Phil Labonte is the lead singer for All That Remains, you just think he's just some schmuck on Tim Pool's show, right? And so, like, people will give him shit on Twitter, like, imagine being his age and you know, playing rock star and all this. Like, he's fucking Phil Labonte, for fuck's sake. You know, like, yeah, imagine being Phil, because that's pretty fucking cool. I want to imagine being
Cure
Phil.
him on 6.
Yes, I know, but he's my age. What's he supposed to be doing? Pat? Wearing Dockers? Going to the vault meetings, going to your conventions, your multi-level marketing conventions. What's he supposed to be doing? That's what kills me on this shit, man.
This is how they talk. So what's your criticism with me, sir?
This is what? Go ahead, tell me.
This is what's going out there in society at this point.
For who, though? In what
For
community?
every man out there.
No, it's not true, though.
Yes, that is true.
That is not true, though.
Okay.
It's where, you know.
How would you know, Pat? How would you know?
What percentage of women did OnlyFans 20 years ago?
Do you know?
What percentage of women did OnlyFans 20 years ago?
Do you know how long?
That's brilliant. Did you catch that?
Yeah.
Yeah. What percentage of women did OnlyFans 20 years ago when you were dating your wife? What percentage of OnlyFans girls were doing OnlyFans when 15? Because I think he's been married for 15 years. Like, even just 15 years ago.
Where's their Instagram?
Yeah, where was your Instagram?
Snapchat.
Where's your Twitter? Although maybe Twitter was around then. But yeah, where was that? The sexual marketplace, the landscape of the sexual marketplace has fundamentally changed. And you know what? I had to learn that the hard way, because people kept saying, you know, well, Rollo, things were different for you, because I got married in 96. I was dating my wife in 95, the latter half of 94, 95, right? And so I got married in 96, and people are like, oh, well, Rollo hasn't seen a new vagina in fucking 30 years. Like, well, trust me, I've seen new vaginas. Lots. But the thing is like, but what's the flex? Is the flex that I've been married for, coming up on 29 years, is that the flex? Is the flex that I have a daughter who is 27 years old and has been married for a couple of years? Is that the flex? Or is this the flex?
Like, man, bro, sometimes you don't get no hoes, man.
Is that the flex? Like, tell me what the fucking flex is. What is the bench? What is the metric I have to live up to so I can be fucking cool in your book? So that you'll take what I have to say more seriously. Do I have to be Dan Bilzerian, or do I have to be like Matt Walsh? Who are you going to take more seriously? Like, who has the best receipts? Who has more receipts, Matt Walsh or Dan Bilzerian? I'll wait. And you know what? half of you will say Dan Bilzerian and half of you will say Matt Walsh, and I'll still be fucked. So it's like you can't win. There's Kobayashi Maru, man.
I was gonna say, go ask Steven Crowder.
Yeah, go ask Steven Crowder. Yeah, because Steve's been through it.
Do you know how long prostitution's been around?
It's the oldest profession.
How long has prostitution been around?
Yeah, this is apples and fucking oranges. Oh, so OnlyFans is only prostitution, and you're not incorrect. You are, but the methodology is brand fucking new.
How long has Tinder been out?
How long? Here, I got a better one for you, Pat. How long has prostitution been democratized courtesy of technology? I'll wait. Tell me. How long you couldn't even do a fucking YouTube video 10 years ago. We couldn't do this right here in this studio. Not to the same degree that we do now. We couldn't do sound drops. We didn't have a stream deck back then. We had I don't know. We had laptops. Okay. So, but like if you rewound this back to like 15, 20 years ago, 2005, you couldn't do this. I remember because we're using StreamYard and shout out to StreamYard because I've been using them since they were in the beta testing. But I remember the beta testing because I remember when YouTube had meetups, or I think it was called meetups on YouTube or something like that. I forget the name of it, but they used to have a way where you could put multiple people into Hangouts on YouTube. Then they killed that. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do? This is when I was with the Red Man group, because the Red Man group, we used to use Hangouts. And then everything kind of imploded with that. But also we were like, what are we going to do? But StreamYard picked up the slack almost immediately. And I've been using StreamYard ever since. You couldn't do it. And before Hangouts, before that, you couldn't even live stream. I remember doing, I wasn't the host, but I was instrumental, let's say, in this a podcast back in the day. It was like from 2008, 2009 through 2013-ish. It was called 40K Radio because I was on it was a podcast, literally a podcast back then. And then they moved over to a video podcast because they set up their own studio and everything. And you had to jump through. You had to have a lot of money to produce something like that. To even do any kind of like a video podcast was insane. Because then you had to
all the audio equipment,
and then to do it live.
Yeah.
And then you had to have a third party thing for streaming for that. There was no SuperChats back then. It was what it was, and just the technology level was insane. I've been thinking about how we could do this with Access Vegas, how we could get live call in.
Yeah.
And you always have to have somebody to answer the phone so some dickhead doesn't go, hey, I want to talk to Rolo. Fuck you. Anxiety pin. But there's a program or some kind of service called Blog Talk Radio, which I'm sure you probably heard of before. It's just so you can call in, and it's like it puts you into a queue. Myron and Fresh have been using it for forever. And the reason why I know it's for forever is because I can remember when it came out in like 2012, people still using Blog Talk Radio today. I mean, I presume it's advanced a little bit since then, but probably not much. And I was always wondering if there was an alternative to Blog Talk Radio so we could actually do live call-ins and stuff like that and wouldn't have to compromise the show as a result, but I'm still waiting. But yeah, doing stuff like that was next to impossible back in the day. So tell me this, Pat, like, where was OnlyFans back then? Nowhere, because we couldn't have it back then. Was prostitution a thing? Yeah, you could come to Las Vegas, you could go to Dayton, Nevada, Mount House, Nevada, and you could go to the Moonlight Bunny Ranch and you could get your dick sucked for $300 or less. Probably a lot less than.
I was gonna say, how's Pat's texting game?
Yeah, really. How's your texting game? How long has texting been around? Like right now, you can go on, what is it, Trist.com or skipthegames.com, as we know. Thank you, Glenn Lawrence, for making us aware of those wonderful sites. You can go to those places and get an escort right now if you want. And you don't have to be in the state of Nevada. You can be in, Tennessee and California if you'd like. We know that for a fact. At least those two states you can be in. And you can have, it's like DoorDash. It's like Pussy Dash. I always say Dick Dash. It's like Pussy Dash, right? Or it's Uber for or trim, right? Who says trim anymore? Rolo does. But yeah, I mean, where was that 20 years ago, Pat? Yeah, was prostitution around 20 years ago? Yes. Was it even older than that? Yeah, it was probably around the time of Jesus Christ. Okay, we got you. Thanks. We needed that reminder. What we need a reminder of, though, is what Adam Sosnick is talking about is OnlyFans has fundamentally changed society. Prostitution itself has been around for a long time. I would say it's changed society, but not to the point where we have technologies like Trist or skip the lines or even pornography, live streaming, 4K, in your face, 24 hours, free, ubiquitous, cam girls, Chatterbait, Sex Panther, loyal fans, OnlyFans, my free cams. You want to know what fucked up the Tates? My free cams, OnlyFans, all that stuff. It made it easy for them. Easier, I guess. But remember, I think one of the things that pissed them off so much is they had to jump through a lot of hoops to be cam pimps. And then suddenly the OnlyFans comes along and democratizes the industry. And now any chick who wants to can be a stripper or a skank or a prostitute or whatever, a hoe, from the comfort of her own home, doing what we're doing right now. This is technically the same thing, right?
It's okay. There'll always be managers.
Forever. Okay, then. So go to how long that's been around. The trade of prostitution or whatever you want to talk about it.
10 seconds after the invention of money.
How long have drugs?
Okay. What's the delivery, though? How long has the delivery of that prostitution been around? You used to have to go get it yourself. Remember when you used to have to go to an adult theater to see porn? I remember those days.
I've heard Joey Diaz talk about it.
There used to be areas like the seedier area, certainly here in Las Vegas. Shit, those adult stores are still here.
Yeah.
But it used to be you had to go to them. Now the shit comes to you. Now it's part of your spam. It goes into your spam folders. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like it's apples and oranges. But like when you're as old as Patrick Bet David and you don't want wifey to get upset and you don't want half of your audience to get too upset, you've got to sort of like find some way to buffer a guy like Adam Sosnick. That's
been around. How long has, but you know what you sound like to me? You sound like a little victim. Is what you sound like.
What?
You sound like
you're making this about me, and I'm making this about society.
No, because
so go ahead. I'm the victim. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Any guy who listens to this and buys into the rhetoric that's being sold, hear them out. But if you buy it, you sound like a victim. That's what you sound like.
Okay, this is why he's upset. Because fundamentally, Patrick Bet David sells the same product that Gary Vee does, Tony Robbins does, Ty Lopez does, Grant Cardone does, Bradley does. It's the same bootstraps, no negative self-talk. It's the same power of positive thinking, Norman Vincent Peale. Go look up, what's his name? Phineas Quimby, I think that's where Phineas Quimby was the first guy. And I swear to God, that's his real name. Phineas Quimby was the first guy that came up with the quote unquote power of positive thinking. And then you got Napoleon Hill, right? Yeah. And then you got Norman Vincent Peale, who decided to mix God into the mix with it as well. And then you got the modern variations of that today is just Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, all the rest of these guys are selling the same product. And this is exactly why Patrick Bet David has a problem with Adam Sosnick talking like that's why you sound like a little victim. I'm going to make an example of my co-host right now because I don't want any of the people who come to my events to think that they can't get up there and do it themselves, right? That it's
PvP
within the
emasculates them with little and instantly.
Yes, exactly. And so he's got to find some way to delimit Adam Sosnick because now he can make an example of him.
When somebody talks like that, everybody's this and everybody's that and everybody's that. You sound defeated. You sound like a victim. You sound weak. You can go off and say all this stuff.
Or else he might sound like an objective opinion on the state of the sexual marketplace. That's a possibility too, Pat. It's a possibility that the sexual marketplace ain't what you used to think it was all about back in the day. And although it sounds like negative speak or self-defeat or a little victim speak or whatever, it's like exactly the same thing that like what MJ 3000 was talking about. No, those are objective observations of the sexual marketplace. But because it came from a dude, I will tell you right now, if Adam Sosnick was a chick making those exact same claims, completely different conversation. Totally different conversation. Do you think so, honey? Like if it had been his daughter, if it had been Amy Dangerfield, who's part of Valuetainment, making those exact same observations, completely different conversation. But because it comes from a dude, because it comes from his co-host, because it comes from the guy with a dick swinging between his legs, it's little victim speak. No, it's not. It's an objective observation of the sexual marketplace and intersexual dynamics that are going on right now. And just because you're not a part of it doesn't mean you're going to stick your head in the fucking sand. So you can choose to listen to that. Oh, you're going to believe that. Well, yeah, I believe that because I see it happen firsthand. I see it happen on Twitter. I see it happen on Instagram. I see it happen on Facebook. I see it happen on TikTok. It's not going to be Rollo Tomasi that red pills the most amount of people. It's not going to be Myron Gaines that brings the most amount of people to the manosphere. You know who it's going to be? It's going to be some nameless little bitch on TikTok telling you about the three kinds of guys there are. The guys who never going to get laid, the guys who might get laid if they have some value added, and then there's the guys that are always going to get laid in spite of themselves. That's the chick that's going to red pill the most guys. And that's going to be the one you're going to listen to. Not Adam Sosnick. You're going to listen to some random TikTok hoe tell you exactly what Adam is telling you right now, and you're going to believe her and you're not going to believe him. That's how it's going to go down. Because that sells. And if he's a little victim and you can school him and you can scold him, that builds your brand. All he's doing is brand building. There's nothing that comes out of Patrick Bet-David's mouth that isn't on brand. He is all brand all the time.
And, entertain and so awesome and all this other stuff. It's not a mature statement, and it's a victim message. I know you're not going to like me saying that to you. It's just the truth. You say, well, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not, it's this, they're like this. This is what's going on out there.
When did he say it wasn't fair? When did he say it wasn't fair? Well, it's not fair. No, he just said women don't want to be wives. That's what he said. Women don't want to get married right now. They don't want it because guys ain't shit, right? That's what I was saying before. Like the chick who's talking about like, oh, men are average guys are just being adults, right? Okay. Well, we're okay with her, but we're not okay with Adam basically saying the same thing. At what point did he say that it was a complaint? At what point did he say he was crying about it? At what point did he say it was a grievance of some sort?
He said in the narrative.
Yeah.
This is what the single guys are going through. And yes, I am the face of the single guys that agree with me on this here.
Pat, if I'm going to listen to you, I'm going to say entrepreneurship, building a business, marriage, kids, there's values, principles, religion, God. There's so many things I'm going to listen to PBD on. But you've been married for 15 years. You don't know what it's like. This is the girl that most guys are dealing with these days.
Oh, such an annoying angle to take for you. Hear me out. What man can do that?
What do you mean? What
man can change to increase their value?
Every man
okay,
can
then.
or
So
should, but they don't.
But that's their problem.
I agree.
Okay, then. So I'm not going to feel sorry for you.
But I'm not. You're not. I'm not.
Not to you, to them.
Do you know what the black belt?
You notice what's happening here? PBD presumes that because Adam is making this observation, that he is attempting to get Patrick Bet-David to feel sorry for him. No, he's not. He's making an objective observation of the sexual marketplace that Pat just simply has no frame of reference for. And why am I getting all worked up over this? Because I deal with, it's not just Patrick Bet-David that has no frame of reference for this. There's a million guys at the Daily Wire that would understand. Michael Knowles comes to first thing to mind, right? There's so many, hell, even guys who should know better. Guys in, let's say, evolutionary psychology, Mack and Murphy. They have no frame of reference. They think, because it's on brand for them, they think those red pill guys are always complaining about X. No, we're not. We're making an objective observation, a praxeological observation of what's going on. And if you don't take my word for it, and you don't take Myron's word for it, because those are the people who are the quote unquote those red pill guys, don't take our word for it. Take the little bitch's word for it from TikTok, who's saying exactly the same fucking thing. Take Steve Stewart Williams, who is another evolutionary psychologist who I draw on liberally for my research and for my data. Take it from Dr. David fucking Bust. Everybody drink. Take it from Mike Sartain. Take it from anybody. They're saying the same thing. I just went and said, what was it? I forget who I was talking about. I was using this one example of this girl that I found on I think it was on Instagram or it was on TikTok, and they were basically talking about like the sexual marketplace and men this and men that and everything. It's like they're basically making red pill points, and I put it up on Twitter and I said, understand this. This is a woman saying this. This is a chick that's not in the manosphere. I forget who it was. It might have been like a research scientist chick. It might even be Louise Perry, I think. So whatever. Anyway, they're making the same points that we've been making in the red pill since 2012, right? About men are bugging out of the marriage. The men on strike. Remember Dr. Helen Thomas or whatever her name was? When she wrote, I remember her book because it came out the same year mine did. Or like when we talk about, for instance, we talk about authority and responsibility. That's, by the way, turd flinging monkey hat tip. That's his quote. I just use it, right? But I attribute it. So, but I've heard that a million times from other people as well. You know what? Authority, the definition is the definition of slavery, right? Responsibility without authority is slavery. That's turd flinging monkey. Thank you. 2015, 2016, somewhere around there. When you hear a woman say that, no, oh my gosh, it's like this, it's revolutionary. No, we've been saying that for forever. But because it came from me, or because it came from Myron, or because it came from, hell, even Dr. Terabon, because it came from somebody else. Hell, I remember when Sadia Khan every once in a while, a broken clock is right twice a day, right? Even when she hits something on the head, it's like, oh, bravo, you go, girl. That's so true. Rolo says the same thing 12 years ago. Who's this misogynist? Wait, do I have that? There you go.
Misogyny.
There you go. That's what it is.
Misogyny.
But see, that's a problem with guys like Patrick Bet David, because it ruins their brand narrative. So to have a co-host that popping off with something that he's conflating as sort of like negative self conversations. You want to talk about Norman Vincent Peale? You want to talk about power positive thinking and all that shit? Yeah, there you go. Oh boy, what's this? I guess I better stop the show now. I don't know what an AED is. That's
Arab Emirates.
Arab Emirates.
Dirham.
Somebody find out how much that is in Arab Emirates dollars. $369.99. That's impressive. I have never ever got an AED. I know what an IED is. I don't know what AED is. Forget the women for now. Retire early with AM87 Messier. The revolutionary AI agent on ERC-20.
About $101.
Oh, well, thank you. I'll take that. You know what? Here, get another one. Don't say we didn't warn you, bros. Women will come later. Yeah. I love that. I love it when everybody wants to, I mean, God bless. Thank you for the super chat. But I love it when people are, women will come later. Like they did for BitBoy. Be concerned with women at the same time. Like it's not, if it's not that too much to ask, really, all of these things are synergistic. It's okay. Anyways, let's get back to it here.
On family, having, what percentage of women did OnlyFans?
Because
so go ahead. I'm the victim. Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Any guy who listens to this and buys into the rhetoric that's being sold, hear them out. But if you buy it, you sound like a victim. That's what you sound like.
So hear them out. But if you hear them out, you're a victim. So why should I hear them out?
Somebody talks like that, everybody's this and everybody's that and everybody's that. You sound defeated. You sound like a victim. You sound weak. You can go off and say all this stuff and, entertain and so awesome and all this other stuff. It's not a mature statement, and it's a victim message. I know you're not going to like me saying that to you. It's just the truth. You say, well, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not, it's this, they're like this. This is what's going on out there. And this is what the single guys are going through. And yes, I am the face of the single guys that agree with me on this here.
Pat, if I'm going to...
Jesus Christ, man. Slippery slope much? I mean, in no way did Adam even start with that kind of a narrative, with that kind of a message. Yeah, I'm the face of the man. I'm the face of mankind. And I'll tell you what's funny is that's the first thing women presume whenever they have an opinion. As a woman, let me tell you a thing or two about women, because I'm going to tell you that my opinion is the universal opinion for women. We are willing to accept that. But if Adam Sosnick makes an objective observation of the sexual marketplace, now suddenly he sounds like a bitch, right? Why is that?
Listen to you. I'm going to say entrepreneurship, building a business, marriage, kids. There's values, principles, religion, God. There's so many things I'm going to listen to PBD on. But you've been married for 15 years. You don't know what it's like. This is the girl that most guys are dealing with these days.
Oh, such an annoying angle to take for you. Hear me out. What man can do that?
What do you mean? What
man can change to increase their value?
Every man
okay,
can
then.
or
so
should,
me,
but they don't.
But that's their problem.
I agree.
Okay, then. So I'm not going to feel sorry for you.
But I'm not. You're not. I'm not.
Not to you, to them.
Do you know what the black belt community
hang on a second. If a guy comes out and is sitting there and talking about, well, you don't know what the market's like out there, sitting there playing, video games 3 hours, you deserve exactly what you're getting.
I agree.
If you're sitting out there gaining 75 pounds and you're fat, you're saying the market sucks, you deserve, if you're not improving reading books, instead you're reading some nonsense.
Fully agree.
So to me, I don't feel sorry for that guy.
Is Adam sitting around playing video games all the time? Is Adam put on 75 extra fat pounds in the last 6 months that I'm unaware of? Because essentially that's what he's doing, is he's conflating this stereotypical non-existent basement dwelling chode. There's another one for you. With what Adam's saying. Only guys who do this believe what you believe. Adam didn't say jack shit about any of that. In fact, he was saying, I agree with you. Yes, of course. But why would you conflate those two? All he's done, this just drives me fucking insane, man.
It's literally just to devalue the conversation he's trying to have.
Yeah, because if he doesn't, it's not on brand for Patrick Bet David. That's why. Pat, things are different. The sexual marketplace is exactly what Adam is talking about right now. He's not wrong. He's 100% right. And if you don't believe him, you don't believe me, you don't believe anybody in the manosphere, you don't believe Andrew Tate, the guy you jumped at the chance to go to fucking Madrid to interview. Remember that guy? Yeah. You don't believe him? Believe the little girl on TikTok. Believe Sadia Khan on whatever short she's thrown out there. Believe anybody else. It's not us. It's not Adam. It's not Myron. It's not me. It's not the manosphere. It's not Andrew Tate. It's everywhere. Everywhere. Why are the clubs closing down? Why are clubs closing down right now? Right? Because why are women come constantly? Well, why is there in the Wall Street fucking Journal a front page title article that Tim Pool was just talking about how women don't want to get married? Why is the Wall Street Journal, which I'm sure you have some professional respect for, being the business mogul that you are, why is that? Are they wrong? Because you're saying that the same opinion that is being expressed in the Wall Street Journal with statistics and everything else is little victim speak. Because it's exactly the same thing that Adam is reporting to you on your show. maybe if you read it from the Wall Street Journal on your show, you'd have a different opinion of it, right? Or would the authors of that story be the basement dwelling, video game playing, jerking off, weed smoking losers that you said? Because apparently that's what they are, because they're reporting it. They're the ones saying this is what the feedback we're getting from women. How come you're not giving the Wall Street Journal shit? This is the Wall Street Journal, not New York Post, not the Washington Post, not the National Enquirer or whatever the fuck. I don't even know. Not the Daily Mail. This is the Wall Street Journal. It's saying exactly the same thing. But no, why don't you give Tim Pool shit? Tim Pool does segment after segment after segment on this. Tim Pool, I don't know if Tim Pool's playing video games. He might be. When I go out to see him, I'm going to say, hey, you want to play Space Marine too? Yeah, why are you not giving Tim Pool and all his Phil Labonte and everybody else who talks about this stuff on a daily basis? Why are they not part of that? The basement dwelling. Although I don't know, because it does have to have food delivered out to the compound. But why? Yeah, you have more professional respect for Tim Pool and the Wall Street Journal than you do for your own co-host. Fuck you. Seriously. That's some fucked up shit. That is like some major disrespect for some guy who's had your back for the last 10, 12 years? That is fucked up, man. That is majorly fucked up.
Now, right here, things shift again. Patrick's no longer just reacting to Adam's opinions. He's clearly annoyed that this kind of talk is still happening even after they already discussed it privately. To him, it's not just a bad take anymore, it's disrespect. And now, he calls it out publicly.
If you say, I want to be a playboy the rest of my life, keep living a life you're living. That's your choice. Keep living it. But don't...
What do you expect him to do? What else is there? Like, okay, well, if you want to be a playboy the rest of your life, then just keep doing what you're doing. What do you think I'm doing? Like, tell me what you think. Like, what's an average day for Adam Sosnick? Pat? What's the average day for Mike Sarte? I can tell you what the average day is for Mike Sarte. What's the average day for Rollo Tomasi? I'm married for longer than you, dumbass. Like, tell me what the regular day is for me, because I'm also reporting exactly the same shit that Adam is. Am I sitting in my basement jerking off to porn and smoking bong loads and bong rips and shit? There's only a few people I know who smoke bong.
Hey.
Like who? Like, can you tell me what I'm about, man? That's loser speak. I wrote 5 fucking books about this shit. What have you written? I got a 6th on the way. Now, this is where it all comes to a head, by the way. So you ready for the cringe element of this video? This is where it comes in.
Sit here and say, well, let me tell you, this one girl used to be this. I'm playing all these videos, and just a week ago, I had a conversation with you about how we talk over certain things we say. You do it again the following week. After I had a conversation with you last week, after Sarah Huckabee Sanders looked up to me, I told you I don't like that. So if you want to go do something else on somewhere else, do it. Don't do it in a place like this, and I've told you this 50 times. You lack respect in the way you communicate sometimes.
Okay. I apologize.
And I told you this how long ago? How long ago was this when I had this conversation? And you talk like this. It's like the guy's got 2 daughters.
If shit gets destroyed because of the truth, it probably deserved to be destroyed by the truth. Right? I mean, I forget who I'm quoting. But if something does, is it Aristotle or is it Marcus Aurelius?
Find it right.
If the truth would destroy something, then it probably needed to be destroyed anyways. Adam, do not apologize for telling the fucking truth. If it destroys his narrative deserved to be destroyed.
Like Carl Sagan.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah,
that sounds like, is that of the demon
truth.
Haunted World? Yeah.
Yep.
That's because I just read that not too long ago. Yeah, it deserves to be destroyed. Do not ever apologize for telling the truth. Yeah, I do. No apologies whatsoever. I will push back every time you're wrong, because if you're wrong, that means the people who are following you are going to be wronger than you. Don't apologize, man.
Sitting here, okay, there's a part of a little bit this that Respect goes a long way. And by the way, I can sit here and talk to Andrew Tate, have a phenomenal conversation with him, and I don't agree with his lifestyle. And I can sit there and say, that's what you choose to live, do it.
Why don't you push Andrew Tate like you're pushing me right now?
No, because why I have pushed Andrew Tate.
Not like this?
No, because for you, you want to have the family.
Oh, you mean like Andrew Tate has a family? You mean like the secret children that he's had that we only knew about until he wanted to seem like a family guy when he was dragged away to prison, and now suddenly we want to get a more lenient sentence, or we want to humanize him that much more, and now suddenly we find out that he's got like a couple of kids? Same thing with Tristan. The ones that they hid, those ones, Pat? I'd like to know what your opinion was on all that stuff. Because I'll tell you, man, when I first discovered that, when that first came out, and me and Ryan are just like looking at each other, just shaking our goddamn heads. Because we ate so much shit from these sons of bitches about like, oh, you guys are married, you don't have any receipts, you don't.
I'm like, man, bro, sometimes you don't get no hoes, man.
That's where that came from. Oh, they don't have any receipts. These guys are dweebs. Remember that? I do. Oh, these guys have kids, man. They're not out there doing it. They're not out there killing it every day like us. And then literally like 6-8 months after they get thrown in a Romanian jail cell, now suddenly the pictures of them like playing in the pool come out. Really? No, he wants to have a family. That's his whole shtick, Pat. Didn't know that? Probably not, because you haven't paid attention to him. You haven't bothered with it because with the Tates, because they haven't been on brand for you for what, 2 years now? But you jumped at the chance to go to Madrid. You jumped at the chance to go and interview them as fast as you possibly could. Yeah. You had an extra grand to go out there and do that, didn't you? Didn't have an extra grand to have somebody come out there and help you like build the only 2 shows you have on your fucked up brand, or your fucked up network. Like, what else are you doing? Nothing. Still to this day. And I'll tell you right now, you probably lost Adam now too. So you have like 0 shows, unless you count Amy Dangerfield show, I guess. What else do you got? Well, what happened to the comedians? What happened to the documentaries? What happened to the movies? What happened to the shows, man? You got a multi-million-dollar, soundstage. And by the way, it can't be cheap, because I know you got to keep your staff. You got to keep it staffed. What are you doing with it? Nothing. You know why you're not doing anything with it? Because you've never been concerned with talent acquisition. You wouldn't know talent if it came and bit you on the fucking ass. And that's why you are disrespectful to Adam, and that's why you were disrespectful to Jedediah, and that's why you're disrespectful to me. Don't come on here and don't go out there and start talking shit about respect. That fucking word you don't even know the definition of. If you knew respect, you wouldn't be having this conversation, especially with Adam Sosnick, who's done nothing but been loyal to you this whole time.
He said he doesn't want to. You say you do.
But yet he does. Adam wants to. Tate said he didn't want to and still does. How about that? Jesus Christ. How fucking oblivious can you be?
You're like this guy. Andrew Tate is like, this is me. Great, go. I respect anybody that believes in whatever they believe in. Doesn't mean I have to.
I respect anybody who tells me they believe in whatever they believe in. Except for Adam Sosnick. Except for the guy who's been on your crew since day fucking one, as far as I know. Except for that guy. He can tell you, hey, this is what I see. He's not even making a statement about belief. You think it's about belief because it needs to be. That's the only way you can combat it. He's giving you an objective analysis and observation of the sexual marketplace. Women need, what did he say? Women need to focus more. Like, it was so innocuous. Women need to focus on being on family instead of career. Women need to focus on having babies. They're going to do another show about like the fertility crisis, right? Oh my gosh, we're below fertility replacement. Well, yeah. And you're going to tell me it's because the guys are too busy stroking off in mom's basement? No. It's a two-way street. Women also play a role in that. Don't believe me. Don't believe Adam. Don't believe the TikTok girl. Believe the Wall Street Journal. Who, and God knows how many different times they've come up with this, but like as recently as last week. Who are you going to believe, me or your lying eyes? It's unbelievable that just the obliviousness. But I do understand, because he's all brand. anything that sounds like it's off brand, he's going to try to hammer down as best he can.
Choose to live the way you live.
Yeah, but
for you, it's like this. You're so easily, what is the word that you're easily influenced? What is there's a word for it. What is the word that somebody can easily change their minds on? Not impressionable. It's a different, malleable. You're so easily malleable. Like, you can go hang out with a group here and then you'll change. And you can hang out here and then you'll change. You go hang out over there, you'll change. Make up your freaking mind. Who the hell are you? What is your identity? What do you stand for? Every freaking week you change to somebody new. Who are you?
I fully disagree with you.
I agree with you. I fully believe that.
Because I say one day I would like to have a family. You're using that as against me to be like, well, where's your damn family already, bro?
Nobody said that.
This guy said this for the last 5 years. He doesn't have anything. Give Vinny the same vibe that you're giving me.
Nobody said that to you.
Keep that energy with Vinny.
Because
when you're trying to get him a girlfriend on my neck.
But Vinny, the difference between you and Vinny is Vinny wants to have a family, and Vinny doesn't want to go to the clubs, 11 nightclubs, 24/7. He does.
And yet Vinny doesn't have a family, and yet Vinny is still trying to find a girlfriend on Minect and still can't find the girl on Minect. What does that say, Patrick Bet David? What does that say? It's not the clubs. You mean the clubs that are closing down? Hell, we've talked about that how many times on Access Vegas with Mike? How it used to be way more clubs than there were because no chicks don't want to go to clubs no more, man.
Gen Z don't drink.
Yeah, Gen Z don't drink. Gen Z don't fuck either. Seriously, don't fuck either. Can't. And the funny thing is like he answers his own question. He'd say he's oblivious to his own irony. Trying to find a girlfriend for Vinny on Minect, which is why I don't use Minect anymore. And yet still is failing at it. Why? Why, Pat? Tell me, I'm open to any answer you could possibly give me. But he won't. Because he's too focused on fucking disrespecting Adam, because Adam is off brand. That's why. And Adam is not even off brand. He's just, again, making an observation. And if Adam had been a little bit more self-aware, he probably could have said, yeah, you're trying to get Vinny a girlfriend on the neck. And look, he still doesn't have it. It's not the clubs. Where do you want to? Okay, genius. Where the fuck should we go? Bible study? The synagogue? The library?
Yeah.
College campus? Where do we go? Book club? Where? Show me, please. I'm begging you. You say, oh, you get out of the clubs. Okay, I'm out of the clubs. Where do I go? Pro beach volleyball? It's Miami, I guess. Where, man? You're the fucking genius. You're the one who's been married for so long. You're the one who knows all this shit. You clearly know all about Andrew Tate. Where? Show me where that chick is. And I'll tell you right now, those chicks, even the girls that are at Bible study are still going to be the same ones who are just as hypergamous as the ones in the club. Guaranteed. It's just a different context. Oh, those girls are just hoes. That's why they're low quality women. Okay, where do you find high quality women, Pat?
Get a Whole Foods.
Yeah, Whole Foods. Yes, of course. Bed Bath and Beyond. Yeah. Yes, Trader Joe's. Where?
Biggest criticism to you is make up your damn mind and stand up for something already. Make up your damn mind and stand up for something already. Truly, for you.
I'm sorry. If I disagree, I'm going to say I fully disagree.
I don't care if you disagree. This are one of our key words on the freaking company is debate. But respectful.
I respect you.
There's only one person that's disrespectful here, and that's Patrick Bet David, and has been from the very beginning of this whole engagement.
It's not just respecting me, respecting the audience that comes and tunes into us.
And there it is.
And we'll leave it there, guys. I'm not sure how.
All right, good enough. So, how do you like that? How do you like that? You like apples? How do you like them apples? Yeah. Adam, come to Vegas. Please. Open arms, my friend.
It's poaching season.
Yes. I'm not saying I'll find you a wife here, because it's probably not. They ain't in Miami. They're certainly not out here. But, if you're going to be a player, there's no better place to be a player, I can tell you that right now. I'll tell you what's funny is like when people ask me like, Rolo, and people have been asking me this recently because I posted some pictures of me and my wife on Instagram, not on Twitter. And people are like, oh man, you guys are like a power couple. I'm like, oh geez, don't let that go to my wife's head. But my wife loves me. She just is. I think it was who was it? Oh, it was Orion Taraban was talking to Sadia Khan on Soft White Underbelly, and he was making the observation that like usually in relationships there's an adorer and an adoree. I'm both, and my wife is both in our relationship, and that is entirely possible, especially after 29 years. But we really enjoy each other's company. I don't like to talk about my marriage. Not because there's anything wrong with it. It's just I don't want it to be like a template, or I don't want people to think I have some like 12 steps, 7 tips to a great fucking marriage. I know it works for me, but I can't give you that cookie cutter, it's not one size fits all, man. It's like you build a relationship. You don't just like, it's not turnkey, right? And so when people see like pictures of me and my wife on vacation, like, oh man, you guys are great, blah, 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 and then I guarantee you, of course it happened. I get emails, I get people hit me up in my DMs and stuff like, how did you do it? Blah, blah, blah. Like, man, it's just who we are. It's just who we are as people, right? Like me and my wife are very good together. We're a good fit. We're a good click. We're a good match. I adore her. She adores me. She respects me. She admires me. She loves what I do. And she trusts me 95%.
95.
Yes. It's that other 5% that you have to use a little bit of competition anxiety and urgency and dread in.
Just going to let you pack that parachute?
Yeah. We've had that conversation before. Pack the parachute. Yeah. But no, I mean, for the better part of, coming up, in July 20th, it will be 29 years. And I what's funny is I never really thought of my relationship as a flex. And even to this day, I don't really think of it as a flex. I think a lot of people want me to. They want me to use that. They want me to say, Rolo's got a great relationship. And I could use that as a hammer to bash a lot of people. But I don't, because I think that once you start doing that, once you start using a successful marriage as a flex, first of all, people don't think it's believable. That's number one. And then second of all, it's like, then you got the disbelievers and you got the skeptics, right? Then you go, oh, well, yeah, that worked for you because that was back in 1996 and da, 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 da. Yeah, but it's also who we are as people and what we have really now a 30 and a half year shared history together. So that counts for something as well. And we also stay in shape for each other. I mean, I still look the way I do at 57. She looks fantastic for her age. And we're just, we enjoy fucking, we enjoy having sex together. We enjoy being together. We enjoy, like this whole time I was with her over our time in Lake Tahoe and in Reno. We were just visiting family and friends and stuff and just having a good time up at the lake. And, because that's where we met. That's where we married. And I've been going to Tahoe since I was 12 years old. My mom's buried there. I saw my mom in the grave. Yeah, I mean, it's just how it is, right? But I'm not going to sit here and pontificate like a Patrick Bet David. I'm not going to tell you I've got the key to a perfect marriage for you. In fact, that's what confuses a lot of people is they think, well, Rolo, how come you're so down on marriage when you have such a great marriage? Rolo Tomasi can't be red pill. He's married. Rolo can't be married. He's red pill. I can't win either way. So I just don't even play that card. I don't even try. I don't even bother playing that card. Now, do I still think that marriage is one of the most all downside risks a guy can assume in his life? Yes. For exactly the same reason I was just talking about, which is it's simping. Marriage is simping. I'll be the first one to admit it. It is, because if simping is an unequal exchange of value, then marriage is simping. Simple as that. And I don't care how many guys there's gonna be a million like religious guys in the comment section saying, well, the Lord wants you to get married and and so therefore it's not simping, and then it's an equal exchange of vows. No, it's not. It will never be. If it's a man and a woman, and men are expected to be the sacrificial sex, whereas women are the vulnerable sex, it will never be an equal exchange of value. So either we got to call it something different than simping, or we need to call it what it is. And we'll say, well, that sounds like you're really down on marriage, Rolo. No, I'm not down on marriage. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm giving you an objective observation. I mean, if I'm wrong, please tell me I'm wrong. I want to be more than anybody. I want to be wrong about this, but I don't think I am. Oh, Rolo, how come you say it's such a downside? You've had such a great marriage. It's been such a benefit for your life. It has to the woman that I married, but it's not. It's the relationship I have with my wife. It's not the institution of marriage. It's the relationship that I have with her. It's the connection that I have with her. It's the shared history that I have with her. Marriage doesn't solve those problems. The marriage creates more problems, but a good, strong relationship can overcome those problems. But it's always going to be unequal. And it's always going to be on the man's side. The man is always going to put out more than he's going to take back, at least from a tangible perspective. Say, well, what about intangibles, right?
It's because females' value is
perishable.
Yeah, there you go. Perishable.
Yeah, it decays over time.
Decays.
Yeah, it decays over. Yeah, and on top of that, even the tangible part decays over time, and especially if the woman doesn't take care of herself.
And the value is still subjective to the man anyway.
Right. So like even guys who are like, I'm not saying abuse. Obviously, there's abusive guys. Okay, obviously there's guys who don't live up to the burden of performance, don't live up to their personal potential. I 100% agree with that. And stop fucking spam. Get that guy out of here. Exactly. Case in point, right? Once I start talking about my marriage or I start talking about my relationship with my wife, everybody, oh man, that sounds great, man. It sounds like a Hallmark, Family Channel series, and it's not. Most definitely not. It's softcore porn, maybe, but it's not Hallmark. But yeah, I mean, that's another thing that throws people off is. First thing is the way that I objectively break down marriage for people. Hell, I just said marriage is simping, for fuck's sake, and I am in as good a marriage as I think most guys can get in. And that's what I think throws people off is if it sounds like I'm down on marriage and yet I'm in an ideal marriage. What does that say about marriage? Probably true. Either that or I'm giving you the real deal. And I'm telling you, it's not for the faint of heart. And you will always have to measure up. You will always have a burden of performance. Whether you're married or you're not, you will always have a burden of performance. Whether you're married or not, you're always going to be, your respectability is always going to be measured by your ability to live up to your personal potential. Like, what makes you respectable? That's the whole thing about like male hierarchies. It's based on respectability. It's like who does the best job? Well, Rolo's really good at writing. He's really good at doing what he does. He's really good at this and this and this. Yeah, I'm great at that, man, but I really suck at archery or something else. Like I don't know. I'm of no value to the tribe when it comes to other things. Right? I can lift heavy objects, thank you, but
prisoner and CEO relationship.
Yeah. When it comes to calculus and trigonometry, I am dead weight. Creative endeavors, I'm pretty good. So what are your strengths, right? What is your personal potential? I think the greatest. He's a great musician. Thank you. You know what? Here, go to the front of the class. There you go. Thank you. You fucking suck up. Was I in the army? No, I was never in the army. I've never served. My father did. I figured my father got it out of my system too. People don't know about it. My dad actually was a Navy guy. And I usually bring this up around Memorial Day or Veterans Day, but my father served on the USS Lansing, which was a destroyer escort, which was changed to a radar picket ship, and was involved in Operation Dominic in it was in the Pacific. It's like 800 miles. It's in the Johnston Atoll. It's like 800 miles south of Hawaii, and they were nuclear tests during that time, and they were basically human guinea pigs on the boats. By the way, the Lansing was one of many other ships that was out there too, but they had air bursts and they had sea bursts, and my dad was right there the whole time, and that's actually why I wrote the song Dominic when I was in Trial of Ascension, because they saw UFOs out there too.
Yeah.
So UFOs, nuclear weapons, military cover-up. That sounds like a Megadeth song to me. So I wrote it. Yeah. So my father was in the Navy, but no, I never served. In hindsight, in some ways, I kind of wish I had, but especially whenever I listen to Mike Sartain talk about my captain, my captain, Mike Sartain. But yeah. Oh, and then my partner, Joe Marin at Reignite. Now's as good a time for a plug as ever. He flew F-18 Hornets out of Camp Pendleton, out of San Diego, and he was a Marine pilot and actually flew F-18s. So there you go. There's some respectability for you. But as I was saying before, it's like, what makes you respectable? I think flying an F-18 Hornet probably makes you respectable. I can't fly a Hornet. Can you fly a Hornet? I can't fly a Hornet. Hell, I can't even fly a C-157. C-150 is it 157? Mike flew those super tankers that would refuel the Hornets. He was a navigator, but yeah. I can't do that. I can play guitar pretty good, but I cannot refuel an F-18 mid-flight. So that's above my pay grade. But anyway, let me get to these. I got a ton. I haven't even got to one single super chat yet. Here we go. What's your opinion on Gold Pill and its tenets on dowry? Gold Pill. You know what he's talking about?
Nope.
The
I'll
Gold
look
Pill.
for it, though.
Please look that up, because I am unfamiliar with I thought Gold Pill was like crypto on dowry. You mean dowry is in like Indian marriage in India? Because I know that's a dowry is a big deal in Indian marriages. Rolo, F1 the movie is masculinity 101. Okay, we got to watch F1 now, okay. Kyle. That has humility, leadership, empathy, adversity, and being the best version of yourself. Great film. Okay, we're gonna do it. I'll watch. I was actually gonna watch it tonight, as a matter of fact.
I'll send it to you.
Okay. The red pill doesn't grow through recruitment. Guys find us when they want answers. Yeah, you're right. We don't advertise the red pill. The red pill is something you find when you're looking for answers. True that. Are women even aware of the irony of chasing chads? No. Getting pumped and dumped, then going online and taking their anger out on incels. Yeah. Are they aware of it? Probably not. Blissfully unaware. Gold Pill. What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I know.
The Gold Pill. Checkmate TradCon artists. Gynocentrism.com. All right. I'll have to look this up. I don't know what it is, but it seems like I'm going to have to take a class in it. So I promise you I will know what it means next time. Are they aware of the irony of chat? The irony? No. I'll tell you why. Would you like to know why? Because when it comes to cognitive dissonance, women are immune to cognitive dissonance, by and large. And if that cognitive dissonance has to do with hypergamy and optimizing hypergamy, they are 100% immune. You know what cognitive dissonance is? It's holding two conflicting perspectives at the same time. One conflicts with the other, right? Women have no problem with that whatsoever. They compartmentalize either one of those, especially if either one of those outcomes maximizes hypergamy.
Yep.
So if option A does and option B does, and option A was the one she goes with and it pans out and it optimizes hypergamy, then option B never existed, or it was not the best choice for her. She has to live her truth, girl. And so we have option A, and option A was always the right answer in the first place, right? So and when people would you like to read more? Would you like to know more? If you would like to know more, you can always go get my book, my very first book, because that's where I cover this. It's in the Rational Male in the first original edition. Women have no problem with cognitive dissonance. And this is a feature, not a bug. Some people want to say it's part of solipsism. It is kind of, but it's more like when I talk about the war brides dynamic. Women are much more prone to Stockholm syndrome than men are, meaning they fall in love with their prisoner or their imprisoners, the new tribe, right? Because the women who could adapt to a new tribal sort of affiliation were the ones who lived, and the ones who couldn't were the ones who were put to death.
They could live with the decision.
They could live with the decision. And that's where that psyche that is more prone to accepting cognitive dissonance, because there's no greater cognitive dissonance than having been taken as a spoil of war, having your defeated husband killed and your sons killed right in front of you, and having you taken off and reintegrated into a new tribe's circle of women, right? The sisterhood uberalis. You want to know where the sisterhood uberalis comes from? It comes from hunter-gatherer tribes. When there was intertribal warfare, men and boys were killed and women were taken because they could be incubators of the next generation. So if you don't believe me, all you have to do is go back to just as far back as, Native American Indians and taking white women as spoils of war. And the white women didn't want to be rescued. They wanted to stay part of that tribe. There's many, many instances of there's books written from the time written by women who were integrated into Indian tribes. And when the English colonists were finally, overcoming them, they would fight the white colonists because they were now part of the tribe. Because women didn't have any problem with that. They had to adapt. They had to resolve that cognitive dissonance. And if their husbands and their sons were killed, and maybe even their daughters, who knows, their daughters might have been integrated. If they're integrated into the female population of the new tribe, they either adapt or they die. The ones who could adapt were the ones who survived and went on to reproduce. It's standard Darwinistic, hypergamous evolution 101. And so that's why cognitive, so like you're going to ask me, like, do they understand their own irony with Chad? Yeah, they probably on some level of consciousness they do, but they don't care. It doesn't matter, because option A or option B, if either one of those maximizes hypergamy, maximizes their reproductive potential, keeps them alive, then the other one was wrong and the other one was right. That's all that matters. I know. It sounds horrible, doesn't it? It sounds immoral. Yeah, if you're a guy. If you're a woman, it sounds perfectly sane and logical, right? Women don't know anything about loyalty and duty. No, those are male constructs, not female constructs. Their loyalty is to the sisterhood. So don't we know this already?
This is why a dog is a man's best friend.
Yes. Yeah, right. But what do they say about dogs? They're man's best friend. What do they say about diamonds? They're a girl's best friend. Got it? That's the reason. All right. I've been driving a lot. I gave my Rational Male first book to a friend, so I decided to get the Audible version. Shout out to Sam Bada, who is in the chat right now, dropping the band hammer. Thank you, Sammy. And thank you for picking up the Audible version. Anytime you hear women say the word men, they are talking about the top 2%, 4.5%. Years of economic and structural changes have moved enough men into the invisible category for women to start noticing. Okay. Yeah, what's funny is imagine trying to explain that to Patrick Bet David, the 80-20/4.5% rule. I also have some other, I got another story I wanted to go over, because I think Mike Sartain really got run up the flagpole recently, and I feel bad for him. So I kind of want to defend my brother here a little bit. But I'll talk about that in a second. Let's get. Here we go. Vegas SOS. Yeah, is better. Saucecast is better than Fort Lauderdale Saucecast. There is no Fort Lauderdale sauce, and not anymore, anyways. That's the thing that kind of bugs me, is like the fact that like Adam has been sort of like dependent on that one show for at least the last 8-9 months. No wonder it's coming to a head. I've seen them fight before, but not like that. What's up, boss man? Hey, what's up, Sir Mr. Jason? Sir Mr. Jason. You want something, Jason? Here you go. Wait. Oh, what? I keep having to like restart these things. It seems like it works once I pull it in.
We're gonna start loading it up on the other one.
Yeah. There we go. Oh, am I going through the different?
Well, no, it's just it's the same thing.
Say my name. There we go. Now I got it. What else do we have here? Thomas V 2025. I've had this same question for the red pill. What percentage of women are wife material? It's got to be 5% or less. Depends on what are your standards? Like, men aren't really allowed to have standards these days. That's just a problem. Like, you want to know why Tommy Lahren got so pissed off at Andrew Wilson, was because he was basically, I mean, he was saying, like, what's in it for us? But really what he was saying or implying with that question was, what standards can men expect to have of women? And that's what was really pissing her off. What do women have to do to make themselves more acceptable and more marriageable, more wife material for men? And it was just too much for her. Even to this day, she still can't answer that question. You would think she'd probably try to, right? You would think she would have had like some snappy, snarky video that like she usually puts out, but she doesn't. No. She'd rather go complain to Megyn Kelly or whatever that other chick's, Laura Ingraham. She'd rather go complain to those two bitches. And I don't know why these guys think they're so full of it. Like, we don't. We're just asking you for an answer that you don't have an answer for. Like, if you had an answer, we'd probably just leave you alone. 5%, I think that's a little low. I think, like, are you okay with fat chicks? Because there's plenty of fat chicks that are wife material that would love to. Because you have to figure that the less, like, women have to compensate in different areas, just like guys have to compensate in different areas. Like, if guys, like when we talk about money, muscles, and game, if he has a deficit in one of those three, he tends to gross out in one or two of the others. So if a guy is lacking in the looks department and his game is not so good, he's probably going to gross out in money. He's probably going to make, well, it doesn't matter because all chicks care about is money anyway. So I'm just going to make a shit ton of money and be a crypto millionaire. And now I'm going to have all kinds of chicks. And you are. And then you're going to turn into BitBoy. And then you're going to be fucked because you didn't max out, or you didn't like work on any other aspects of your character, which was what would have helped BitBoy. Learning game, getting in shape, it would have helped him in the boxing ring. That's for damn sure. I have nothing but respect for Ben, man. In fact, I wouldn't get in there with that guy. He went in, he did it, man. And so big ups for him. But like, if he'd have been in better shape, I think he probably would have had a better turnout. And then also, I don't think he would be in the state that he is right. Didn't he just get arrested?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think he'd be in the same state he's in right now if he'd learned game. So I think there's something to be said about having all of those. But again, like the same dynamic that applies to guys when it comes to money, muscles, and game is like the same thing for women. Like, if women are a little bit overweight, what do they try to do? They try to compensate in other areas. Oh, don't worry, honey. I know I'm a little fat, but I'm going to make you the best spaghetti you've ever had. Or she's going to suck your dick like a fucking porn star. Fat girls try harder. Absolutely try harder when it comes to that, when it comes to sex. So there's going to be other areas. So I don't know. Are you willing to forgive like her being a little overweight? Then maybe you're going to boost that 5% up to 10%, 12%. I don't know. It just kind of depends. By the way, guys will seriously consider that compromise. Women will not consider, especially today, will not consider that compromise. I need a guy who looks good. He's got to be 6 feet tall. He's got to be finance, 6 foot, blue eyes, trust fund, finance.
So the problem is that they get to value themselves.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem. It's like men's value is slow burn. That's the problem. And even at 57, I'm still fighting. I'm still making money. I'm still growing. I'm still doing I'm still writing a new book, for fuck's sake, right? So I'm still doing shit like later on in life. Power overwhelming. Okay, yes. Just for Sam. Let's see. Where did I put it? Oh, God damn it, man. It
keeps popping off.
Keeps popping off. Why is it doing this today? I don't understand why it's doing this. Oh, now it's off. Okay, there you go. Oh, there you go. Now, hopefully it stays where it is. Let's do this one.
Gotcha, bitch.
Okay, now it's working. Okay, that was for Sammy. Got them tickets to the gun show. Would you like to see the? Oh, look, he's 50. Imagine being Rolo at 57 and looking the way he does. I wouldn't want to be like, what was it? Remember what they told Arnold Schwarzenegger? We wouldn't want to look like you. Don't worry, you never will. You never will.
Like I smoke stogies.
Don't worry, you never will. Get back to the chopper. He did that one time. Don't worry, you never will.
I remember the thing where he was smoking like a stogie and he was saying, your wife probably doesn't let you smoke inside.
Say what you want to about Arnold, because especially that shit, fuck your freedoms. Okay, he fucked up with that. But I remember one time he said, like, the worst thing I can be is the same as everyone else. And they have that up at Powerhouse Gym as one of those quotes in the thing. And I see it every time I'm in the back room there. I'm like, fuck yeah. I'm not like a big quotes guy, but like sometimes, yeah. Or if it doesn't hurt, it won't grow. I love that. That's not just about lifting. Blue Pill Alpha's like PBD. Tom Bilyeu, yeah. Tom Bilyeu, by the way, was supposed to have me and Mike on and then didn't have us on. And I think it has something to do with his wife, because I think his wife is probably very anti-red pill, but I don't know. Etc. can't annoy the fuck out of me because they're out of the game and think they still understand the game. The only game they understand is their brand. And I get it to an extent. You want to know why I've never been on Chris Williamson's show? Because he thought that I sounded gleeful and that he was worried that he was going to lose half of his audience, meaning the female half. These guys are not about the conversation. They're not about educating. They're not about anything except themselves, except the continuation of their brand. They don't have a charter. They don't have a mission. They don't have a guiding principle. They're not ideas people. They are just fast followers. That's why Chris Williamson decided to have Destiny on there to talk about the Red, because he thinks that well, God forbid, we can't have Rolo on. We can't have Myron on. We can't have Mike Sartain on. We can't have any of these guys on. But we will have that blue-haired cuckold, that sex offender, not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times, to talk about the state of masculinity and the red pill and all this other shit as if he's some fucking like well-known authority. That's why. Because he was the hottest thing going at that time, and that's all you had to be back then, and that's all these guys are about. That's all they will ever be about. So all I can do is keep doing what I'm doing right here, right now, and thank you for watching. Yeah. Well, I mean, they think it's not so much that they think they understand game. I think what it is they're confident in their ignorance. And I've said this before, it's just confident ignorance, right? They think they know what they know, and they think they know it well enough that they can just dismiss it and move on to the next topic, because if they don't and they dwell on it for too long, then it causes questions and that they don't want to contemplate later. I want Patrick to shame Brad Pitt, a 61-year-old Giga Chad. He's 61. He is 61. Fuck, man. Bravo, man. Yes. Yes. Brad Pitt, 61, dude. Yeah. But he has kids, though. He does have kids with Angelina Jolie. So he is still technically dad, but he could go fuck Jennifer Aniston still if he wanted to. He could do that. Yeah. There's chicks that want to fuck Brad Pitt at 61. They still think he's 31. Yeah. He's a good looking dude, man. He's like Sean, and I am no homo, but he is a good looking fucking dude. Like he's Sean Connery level. Like Sean Connery was good looking to the day he died, right? Name a chick Name a female actress that has the same sex appeal at 61.
Salem Hayek. Well,
Selma
I don't
Hayek.
think she's 61 yet. Is she?
But does she have the same sex appeal at, okay, let's just round it off.
I wouldn't
60
say-
that she did at 30. Because if you take a 30-year-old Brad Pitt and you take a 60-year-old Brad Pitt, he still has basically the same sex appeal.
Yeah, there's still.
Not saying Selma Hayek, she looks good. There are some. God, I can't believe I'm about to say
Vergara.
this. Only a 57-year-old dude is going to say this, but like I've seen some chicks who are like between like 55 and 60 that are like still very fuckable. But would I take them over the 35-year-old hottie? Yeah, I probably would.
Gotcha, bitch.
Yeah. Like I said, once you get past 50, body count, age, just flies right out the fucking window. The only thing that matters is like, is she DTF? You know?
Dump that bitch.
Yes. All PBD does is argue with his guests. That's true. That's true. Especially if it's off brand. All he is brand. Like I think I mentioned this. If you've read the Player's Handbook, my most recent book, in the very beginning, the first chapter, I talk about the Ziggy Stardust effect, right? And what I mean by that is, I'm not going to go over this. You probably already know what I'm going to say with the Ziggy Stardust, but like these guys, they become their personas. So, and I know because I had to create one from my believe it or not, my real name is not Rollo Tomasi. What is it? Oh, go ahead. Put it in the chat. Yeah. Own me. I got to quit now. People know my real name. But like, that's my online persona. Okay, fine. Like when people hit me up at the clubs, or if I'm at Zook, or if I'm at the fucking airport, or if I'm walking through MGM, or I'm walking through Cosmo or something like that, people go, Rollo. I answer to Rollo. Okay. I got recognized twice on my trip with my wife. And for me, it's not a big deal. But when my wife is with me and they recognize me, my wife's like,
yeah,
she yeah. We even have a joke where we do one of these
double take.
Yeah. I mean, if we're at Babes in Toyland, I'm gonna get recognized. She's ready for it, but we're not ready for it if I'm walking through the airport. So, but especially if it's JSX too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we become our personalities, become our personas, right? I'm still pretty, you know me outside of here. I'm still pretty much the same dude I am in here, but I know enough guys over the years who have become their persona. Like Destiny is his persona. He's no longer Steve Bunnell anymore. He's Destiny, right? There's no separation between those two. Same thing with Patrick Bet David. There's no separation. And I could say that about some people who I'm very close to, and I would have to check them on it too, because a lot of times it's like, I want to talk to the man. I don't want to talk to the brand. And there are some people that I know who got into doing what they're doing, and they become their brand. Nothing comes out of their mouth that isn't on brand. They lose their previous personality. They lose because everything is, and it kind of has to be, because their ego is measured in likes and follows and hearts and everything else. And if the people surrounding you, that you surround yourself with, your partners, aren't on brand too, that's when you begin to have a problem. So that's one of the reasons why I really, and I'm going to gloss him a little bit, but that's one of the reasons why I really get along really well with Mike Sartain, because Mike is who he is. Like if you see him on camera and you see him off, he is the same dude. Yeah. He never changes. And does he do his own branding? Yes, but you're seeing his brand when he's in clips and shorts. And by the way, 90% of the clips that Mike does that you'll see on like Instagram or on his YouTube shorts and stuff like that, or even he'll occasionally put them on Twitter. You need to use that more, guy. They're drawn from Access Vegas, like almost all of them. Like he has some interviews and some other things that he does, but I would say like probably 85 to 90% of the clips that you see on his social media come from Access Vegas, which I think is a credit to Access Vegas, by the way. But the guy you see in those clips is exactly the same guy. If I call him right now, it's the same dude. And by the way, I'm going to try to have him on the show just a one-on-one between me and him for the next show or the next one after that, whenever he's available on a Sunday. I wanted him to today, but he's in Los Angeles this week. But as soon as I'm able to do that, I'm going to have him on the show, and we're going to do a one-on-one, because I've been on his show, but he's never been on my show. So, I mean, like as a one-on-one. And I think it would be a really good show, because I think just having, meeting of the minds and having a good discussion, a lot of people like that. So, and it's better if it's just me and him and we don't have a panel of 10 girls, because they're just like, their eyes gloss over and they're like on their phones and everything. I don't want to bore the girls, but yeah, he does fight with his guests, or disagree with his guests. Yeah, okay, I got to that one already. Let's see. Any plans on releasing the Rational Male second edition? Yeah, I do. It's going to be after I release Reignite. Reignite should be out by August. If everything goes well, my 6th book will be out by mid-August. I am about 75 to 80% done with it right now. Now is the time where I'm just pulling the stuff out that I thought would be great. And it's like, it just bogs it down. As you know, I write like I talk. And so I have to sort of be careful with it's editing. It takes the longest time of any book. Any writer will tell you the same thing. Editing takes longer than actually writing the book. So, but yes, as soon as I'm done with it, in fact, I started it before I started Reignite, and then I got all wrapped up in Reignite. So it's actually almost done, the second edition. Have you tried Discord voice calls for call-ins? Yeah, but the problem is like, it's the screening part. That's the difficult part with, and I don't have a Discord server, not yet anyways. I probably could. PBD thinks it's disrespectful because he thinks that about his wife, and Sosnick is saying it out loud. Yes, it's very much a hope she doesn't hear this, bro, situation on PBD's part. Yeah, definitely there's an element of that. I think it's also branding, but I've noticed that it's Tom Bellew is the same thing. It's like, I think one of the reasons why Mike and I got sort of canceled off of Tom's show was because the wife is not into the red pill. And she, like, I don't think people realize just how controlling media wives can be. Like, when I was, and I was, the only part of going on Dr. Phil that I was unprepared for was his wife being on the show. His wife really controls that show. Honestly, if I'm my own take here, I'm not saying this is the way it is or it's not, but I think cognitively, Dr. Phil wasn't quite who he used to be. Either that or he's not allowed to be, but his wife really is starting to pick up the slack and more or less runs that show. I think that a lot of guys who have wives that want to be a part of their show, and I know I can name a couple names who are sort of in the TradCon situations. Their wives are the ones, even if it's behind the scenes, some of them are a little more in front of the scenes, but the ones that are behind the scenes are really actually the ones pulling the strings. I'm not saying that's what is going on with Patrick Bet David. I think Patrick is probably mostly in control of his own brand, but it's not like there's controlling your own brand, and then there's controlling it with input, and there's controlling it with like, I would say that Patrick Bet David's mental point of origin is probably not himself. It's probably his wife. What's my wife going to think if I allow Adam to say these things? Therefore, his wife is his mental point of origin. What will mommy say? What will my wife say? What will my future girlfriend say? What will my girlfriend say if I do these things or I allow this to happen? Right? I've never, somebody asked me this. They said, I was on Twitter and somebody goes, well, what would Mrs. Tomasi say? And I put that meme out, like, from Mad Men. Who cares? Like, he's got the Tumblr or whatever. He's like, well, who cares? And you know what? If I said anything different, she'd be mad at me for that. What age demographic wrote the Wall Street Journal? I don't know.
Find out.
Good question. Perfect example of the sisterhood uber alles. Discovered I was on a Facebook group where girls who don't know each other post if they are dating the same guy and red flags on each guy. Yep. Hi, why do women use fake nails? That's a very, you know what? Mankind has tried to answer that for millennia. We're still trying to figure it out. When they can't paint their own nails, I think fake nails are really ugly. Yeah. I think fake depends on the fake nail, though. I mean, it's one thing if they're nicely done, like French tips or something like that.
Yeah.
I can appreciate the artistic side of doing your nails and stuff like. But when we get these chicks on Access Vegas and the nails are out here and like,
It's too much.
and they're addicted to their phone still, and they're doing. Shut up! Jesus Christ! How can you like? At least give me a back scratch. If you're going to use those, if you're going to have those things, and just do the cat thing on me, or something like that. Like make yourself useful. That's kind of, it's almost like getting like lip injections or BBL or something like that. It's like, what were you thinking with the duck lips? Because do you think guys like that? I don't know. Do guys like that? The big ass.
I think at a certain point they get a body dysmorphia. They keep going further.
Like that.
But that's crazy.
How? Why is that? Like, you know what I heard? You've probably heard this before. Women wear makeup for other women.
No, they say that all the time.
Get
It's
the
so
fuck
fucking
out of
stupid.
here. I heard that on, like, I was watching Tim Pool because I was watching the Wall Street Journal episode and stuff. And he had some other chicks that were on there, and they were talking about, like, the girls were talking about makeup. Well, women wear makeup for other women. What? Get the fuck out of here. Like, yeah, sure you do. That's why the cosmetic industry is this multi-trillion-dollar financial juggernaut.
Rolo, I'm gonna get this nose job for myself, okay?
Yes, it's all for me. It's all love, right? No, it's like, do you really believe, like, cognitive dissonance?
Yeah.
You really believe this? No, you don't, because if that was the case, then makeup would be much more diversified if that was the case. But it's not. Makeup has one purpose: to make women look younger and more fertile. Even the 80-year-old woman, she's not wearing that to compete with other 80-year-old women. She's doing it for the same reason she put it on when she was 23 years old, to look younger and look more fertile. That's why it's red lips. That's why it's blush, because what happens when a woman is sexually, aroused? The skin flushes, right? Why are the eyes like musky, dusky and mysterious? Why is there red lipstick, or any lipstick for that matter? Why would that even be a thing? Because it simulates sexual arousal. That's why. And I'm saying this, it sounds different coming from Rollo Tomassi, but when Jordan Peterson says the same thing, they run him up the flagpole for it. Oh, you must be a pedo, there's something wrong with you for even thinking about those things. No, the reason why the cosmetic industry exists is because the store is called Forever 21, not Forever 41. If it were, and you were competing with other women, by women for women, that wouldn't exist. So it's so ridiculous. Ladies, stop it. Get help. Yes. I wear it because of other women wear makeup for other women. Yeah, if they're lesbians. And even they don't wear it for, like, I wonder how much, like, I wonder if you did a poll. I wonder if you could, God damn it, we're at the end of the show. I can fuck around. I wonder if you did, like, some sort of survey amongst, like, real dyed-in-the-wool lesbians, like real lesbians. How many of them wear makeup, period? Like, I would presume the butch bull ones, the ones that are more masculinized, don't wear it at all. And I would presume that even, like, the ones who are, like, sort of the more femme prissy ones probably don't wear nearly as much as heterosexual females do, or bisexual. Let me stop lying. They're all bisexual. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm wondering, like, if you were supposedly wearing makeup for other women, wouldn't lesbians, like, be the most made up bitches in the planet Earth? No, they're not. The next silly question. VH request no brown pills, whatever those are. Okay. Is that like the poop pill? I don't know what the brown pill is. Stop it with the pill, okay? There's only one pill. There's only the red pill. Even the black pill, I'm only giving you that by default. It's really just doomers. But do women compensate, or they just fat and rude? Let's just go with fat and rude. I think that's the simplest answer. Do they do that to compensate? Of course they compensate. Here's a hot take. Makeup should be illegal. That is definitely a hot take that I do not agree with whatsoever.
Okay.
I think women should absolutely wear makeup. Wear more makeup, please.
The guy who got a 6 could make me feel he has an 8.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, don't go there. You want women to wear makeup. You want your woman to wear makeup. Trust me right here. You want your chick to wear makeup. You absolutely do. Thank you, Rolla, for always standing up for men, unlike Patrick Bet David. Yeah, well, Pat's all brand, man. Like, I that's the thing that makes me kind of like, I don't know. It's kind of depressing, quite honestly. And I rarely get depressed. I'm not the kind of guy I get depressed when I have to deal with shingles. That's when I get depressed. And I'm not even that depressed. No, it's disappointing. Maybe that's a better word for it. The only thing that really gets me disappointed is like seeing guys who start out with the best of intentions. They're ideas guys. And I'm not going to name names. You know who the usual suspects are. But guys who start out with the best of intentions, they had a great idea. And maybe they got a hit. Maybe they got a good offer. Maybe they made $1 million, right? They just can't repeat it. And they end up thinking that they're geniuses because they hit on one thing. And then they try to repeat that success. And then they can't repeat that success because it was one time. Right place, right time, right niche, whatever. But the problem is you built this whole big persona around that one hit because that's what you thought your audience wanted you to be.
You built the oil well.
And now you become this persona. Yeah, oil. Now you've become this persona that you only needed to support the brand, but it's now you. And you think that the more you become that, and the more you like double down in that, the better off you're going to be. Or now it's not about the idea anymore. It's about how I'm going to teach you entrepreneurship, how I'm going to teach you to be. I'm a success, and here I'm going to teach you how to be a success too. But what was your success about? Oh, it was writing this one book, or it was this one idea I had, or this one software program I wrote, or it was I wrote I'm a one-hit wonder. I wrote one-hit song, right? And I have never been able to repeat that formula for success anymore because it was the right place, right time, and everything else. I mean, just accept it and move on, right? But instead, you build a persona and you build a personality around that, and it becomes who you are. It's kind of like you get typecast. It's like Mr. Spock. Mr. Spock, Leonard Nimoy can only be Mr. fucking Spock, right? And he didn't even do it on purpose, right? That's just where it is. That's what happened to Leonard Nimoy. And, it's just Viking. Viking with no beard. Yeah. Would you like me to grow a beard? I could grow a beard. I was thinking, okay, so I was going to make this announcement on yesterday's show, but I didn't think the timing was right because I wanted the guys to be able to do their thing. I'm thinking about cutting my hair. I'm thinking about shaving my head.
Going full bald?
Yeah, or doing like the Jason Statham thing, so it looks like a 5 o'clock shadow kind of thing. I was thinking more along those lines. I mean, I could probably pull that off better.
There's a name to that. It's not a buzz cut.
Yeah, something like that. So it's just high and tight, Is there any difference between Nala? Oh God, I didn't get to Nala yet. I have to do that. Nala, Ashley St. Clair, Sheryl Sandberg, Rachel Wilson. Are they all transactional opportunists looking for beta bucks? Rachel Wilson is part of Team Andrew Wilson. So I got nothing bad to say about Rachel because Rachel's she's on Team Andrew. And because Team Andrew is Team Rachel. You're never going to see them fight. They are always going to be on the Wilson brand. Ashley St. Clair is in fucking sane. She is batshit crazy. I think that's pretty well established. Sheryl Sandberg was a commodity at one time. She is responsible for Sandbergian hypergamy. which is essentially go fuck as many guys as you want to talk about. Why do people have problems with me and not with Sheryl Sandberg? Like, I'm not telling guys to go and do exactly what Sheryl Sandberg's telling women to go and do. But apparently she's a superhero and I'm an asshole. So, but there is one other asshole. And I before we end, I have to dig into this really quick before we hit the 3-hour mark. You guys are going to love this. Okay. So, yeah, so let me finish up what I was saying. I'm going to do what did you find the name for it? For the type of haircut I was talking about? Crew cut? Yeah. It's not like a flat top or anything like that, but more like Statham. You know, Jason Statham has his hair. I was thinking about along those lines. Yeah, it's just like
a buzz cut, but
I've had my hair long for so long, and it's still, I got it cut a little bit just because it was my summer do, and it was just getting out of hand. And then the more I thought about it, I'm like, it'd be so convenient to just to have it like that. So I'm still thinking about it. If I do it, I might do it live on camera with Joe. I know people keep saying go bald with Kerry King, but the thing about Kerry King is he also has that long ass, like braided, beard of his, which would be cool. Are you going to show it to me? Yeah, kind of along those. I wouldn't look like that. I wouldn't look like one of the Jonas brothers, but I would look more like Jason Statham for sure. Yeah, because he's like, I'm thinning a little bit up here, but like if I cut it like down to that short, like it looks like a 5 o'clock shadow. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah, from Jailbreak. I forget the guy's name. Yeah. That's what I would do. So I'm thinking about it. Yeah. Anyways, so that said, before we go, I got to throw this one out there. Now, I mentioned this on the last show, but it got worse. Things got worse. So I was talking about Nala Fit being on Turning Point USA. This is her on Turning Point USA. I have a completely logical reason for showing you this. So where'd it go? Here's Nala Fit on Turning Point USA.
I started making crazy amounts of money showing my body online and exploiting myself. It's truly online prostitution. And then my family completely disowned me, like my mom, all my siblings. My dad was the only one that hung on, but for a really bad reason. He was just like begging me for like money all the time. So that was the only relationship I had with my father, was him supporting me doing porn online and then taking my money.
And since then, you've had this come to Jesus moment where now you are more aligned with your faith. Yep. And walk us through, what was your breaking point? The steps you took to come out of such a toxic environment, because you were obviously sold an idea that really ended up being something that it's just completely different than.
Absolutely. Like the whole girlfriend experience is what OnlyFans loves to sell, is that, you're talking to your dream girl. It's like the girl next door. It's not that at all. You're literally talking to a middle-aged man on a computer. Like, that is your chatters. So it's such a lie. And that is what sin is. It is dark and it's a lie and it hides.
But what clicked for you? What was your turning point, essentially?
So I actually met my husband now. His name is Jordan, truly the love of my life. He encouraged me. Like, when I first met him, this man was talking so highly about who Christ is and showed that love. And in 5 years, I hadn't had one Christian reach out to me while I was on OnlyFans doing what I was doing to show the love of Christ in my life. And he did. He treated me with so much respect and God's love. He was just my friend for the longest time until we ended up getting married after I got off of OnlyFans. But I was so intrigued by how this man loved God with everything inside of him. And it encouraged me so much. And I stopped doing OnlyFans, gave my life to God, deleted my OnlyFans, took off every promiscuous post off my Instagram, Facebook. I deleted my entire Twitter. And I was so happy.
Now, don't forget, this was the same chick who was also doing those suggestive, she was making Cinnabons or whatever. So like licking a thing and everything else. Well after she had given her life to Christ, right? She speaks fluent Christianese, by the way. Mm-hmm. Like, well done. Well, now that we have that as sort of our prelude, I would like to also show you what she's been doing recently. Now, this is I'm I'll show you these here up close really quick. But what's her new grift, right? She's been a grifter for a long time. Well, what's the new grift now? She's got to be making some money, and she can't do only like one of the things they don't ask her at TPUSA is, well, did you give all that money back? Did you give the blood money you made from OnlyFans to, I don't know, Christian missionaries in Uganda or some shit like that? No, that was never asked. And I'll tell you why it was never asked. Because I'm going to share my screen here for a second. This was interesting. Okay, this was from Gordon Ray Bland Jr. I don't know who this guy is. It's official. Nala Ray is a grifter, using the Lord's name to profit off of subjects she has no business teaching. She should be learning God's word, not profiting off pseudo-Christian life coaching under the guise of ministry. I won't speak on her salvation. Oh, I will. Leave that to me. But these are not the fruits one expects from a new convert, but from charlatans. Oh, you mean like, oh, I don't know, licking the batter out of the out of the Cinnabon dough? That wasn't your first clue. You took this to get you going. Okay. If she admitted, and she did, to grifting in the past, yes, quite vocally, so much so that Michael Knowles had to interview her twice, lying for the sake of clickbait content to her debaucheries, unless she was truly saved, it'd be safe to assume she'd continue grifting. The question is whether this is genuine conversion and gross negligence on her church not discipling her appropriately, or she's stealing your money with a Christian smile now. No ministry or conservative organization should ever platform her this soon into her changed. Why is he saying this? Well, I'll show you. What's she doing? She's doing this. Nala Ray and Jordan Giordano. Nala and Jordan aren't just founders of the Anointed Pathway. They're living proof that God can take the broken stories and turn them into testimonies of hope and freedom and purpose. Once trapped in a cycle of shame, no, that was OnlyFans, a cycle of greed, addiction, and spiritual emptiness, they each encountered I think more Nala than Jordan, let's just say it. The redemptive power of Jesus in their darkest place. Now they've joined forces to lead others into healing, restoration, and a life fully surrendered to Christ. Together, they've built a movement grounded in grace and truth, offering biblically based resources, courses, and real talk for those who are ready to break free, rise up, and walk boldly in their God-given calling. This isn't just a ministry, it's a mission, and they're walking it with you to the tune of $15 a month, $15 a month, and $15 a month. I can't really, let's see if I can get these things.
Like one time every 7.
Yeah. Where's here's the, can we see that? I don't know if I can read that. I'll have to read these out to you here, because I've got them on something else. Actually, they're on the Twitter thing. Actually, let me go back to Twitter real quick. Hold on, because that'll and then I can read them better over there. Where'd it go? Share screen. Oops. Hold on a sec. I have it right here. Okay, there it is. Meet the founders. Oh God, this is so good. So if you ever had any reservations as to whether this chick is grifting, like, this is the new grift right now. They're gonna remember when I told you about like not being able to repeat your own successes. Yeah. Well, clearly she's not going to be repeating her OnlyFans successes if she wants to like exist in this new grift, right?
One of the different types.
So now we're going to show you, because now they're the foremost leading experts on converting from OnlyFans to Christianity. I mean, they have the endorsement of TPUSA now, right? So here, let's go back to this again. There we go. Can you see it better on this one? Maybe you can. So let's see. Discovering your purpose, living with life that honors God. $15 every month. This is a 4-week course designed to help participants uncover their God-given purpose. I'm not going to read all these things. Then there's the Lust to Life 75-day porn-free course for $49.99 every month. Next one is overcoming anxiety and fear, finding peace in God's promise, $15 every month. Building a stronger marriage, God's blueprint for love. Who would be a better envoy for that than Rollo Tomasi? $15 every month. God, I am in the wrong fucking business, Kyle. Yeah, fuck it, I'm out. I'm canceling this channel. Living with gratitude, cultivating a thankful heart, $15 every month. Overcoming loneliness, finding connection in Christ. I wonder how much she charged on OnlyFans every month.
I'm seeing a pattern.
I'm seeing a pattern here. Okay, that's those. But there's more. Wait, there's more. Healing from the past hurts, finding freedom and forgiveness, $15 every month. Walking in forgiveness, letting go of bitterness. Again, a 4-week course, $15 every month. Overcoming addiction, breaking free through faith. Now they're addiction counselors, Kyle. $15. I'll bet you her subscription fee on OnlyFans was $15. Managing stress, finding rest in God's presence, $15. Deepening your prayer life, connecting with God daily. When do I need $15 a month to deepen my prayer connection? God damn. Building healthy friendships, loving others like Jesus, $15 a month.
Paying for friends.
Paying for friends, $15 a month. Oh boy, this is even better. Overcoming negative self-talk. Where did that come from? Tony Robbins or Phineas Quimby or Napoleon Hill or Norman Vincent Peale? Overcoming negative self-talk. Oh, no, it couldn't have. That's clearly Patrick Bet David. Embracing your identity in Christ, $15 a month. Financial freedom. Now we're going to teach you crypto for $15 a month. Stewarding God's sources wisely. Jesus Christ. This 4-week course is designed to help participants align their financial practices with biblical principles through scripture-based, because the OnlyFans girl knows all about stewarding God's money because she has yet to give it back to the poor.
It's the holy crypto.
It's the holy crypto. Anyways, you get the idea. Unbelievable. It had to be said. I'm sorry. No. Who else is going to give you this? Who else is going to go on their channel and give you this? Only this guy. Oh my God. Okay, we're at the 3-hour mark. We got to get out of here. Let's do announcements. Access Vegas coming back on Wednesday. As far as I know, it's Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. It has to be Wednesday. Thursday. I don't know if I'm going to do this or not. I've been invited. I might go to Tao nightclub. You know why?
What?
Because it's halfway to Halloween, and it's a costume contest in the middle of July. I guess it's July 3rd. That'll be at Tao nightclub, not the beach club, nightclub. Mike is there and he's hosting it, and asked me. We were going to play a gig, but the gig fell through. So I'm thinking I might go. So if you want to see Rollo Tomasi in some kind of Halloween getup in the middle or on July 3rd, that will be. What am I going to do 4th of July? Nothing, because I have to stay home with Ned and my greyhounds because they lose their fucking minds whenever there's fireworks going off. So I will be with my dog and as many sedatives as I can possibly stuff down his throat because he really. Anna's really good.
Just leave him in the room with me, all right?
Yes, I know. He needs an anxiety pen.
Yeah, let me get the monster one.
You need an anxiety pen of corn.
Oh my God. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go. I'll go to town for halfway to Halloween. I need to do something with Mike. We got to go do something together. So that'll be Tao nightclub. I want to say it's going to be like 8 or 9 o'clock at Tao nightclub. I think it might be it's a pretty decent cover. I think it's only like $10 or $15 to get in. So, and by the way, I can't win because it's only for chicks. So damn it. So I can't win, but I couldn't win anyways because I'm probably going to be a judge. But if you want to go to Halfway to Halloween, that'll be at Town Nightclub. That's in the Venetian downtown. Enjoy. It's going to be a freaking zoo because Friday is 4th of July in Las Vegas. That's why I'm doing nothing. I might go to the pool. I might go to the pool at Rhodes Ranch because we have a nice pool, a community pool. It's a big thing. We actually have a water park at Rhodes Ranch too. Yeah. And a golf course. Where does Rolo live?
Thankfully,
I live on vacation. I've never been to the golf course. I've never been to any. I don't go anywhere. Yes. And also to answer another question I saw earlier in the chat here, somebody asked me what's going on with Tim Pool. I had to cancel because I had shingles, but I got a new date. It's supposed to be July 15th. And as soon as Lisa confirms with me and gives me a plane ticket, I will let you know when I'm going to be there. But it's supposed to be July 15th. So that will be my next appearance on Tim Pool, hopefully with Phil Labonte of All That Remains. Let's get to these real quick. I grew up around a bunch of repressed church guys that dreamed of getting a porn star. I find the willingness of people to accept Nala ironic. I don't. It's the best of both worlds. Are you kidding? The holy porn star. That's why youth pastors that's the dream come true. That's the holy fucking grail for youth pastors is to find some converted ex porn star and bring her to Jesus and then hope she still fucks like a porn star. Usually not, but I wonder if Nala still does that for Jordan for whatever his name is. I wonder if she still does that. Or would that be against God? I don't know. From OnlyFans to Only Christ. Only Christ. That's dude, primo. Fuck, dude, how you
from OF to OC?
Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute, I gotta restart again. That was too good. Hold on a second. Yeah.
How dare you?
What's the other one here? Oh, Only Christ. Been in the military 16 years when I could have just been an evangelist. Yes, you could. Yep. And a nightclub space for communists.
Is the Tau?
Oh,
Tau from Space Marine.
Really, motherfucker? This fucking guy? Yes. No. No, it's not spelled. It's spelled. I was like,
it's close.
You know, they spell it really close. No, it's Tao, not Tau. For the greater good.
I know who my God is. Hallelujah.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. I'll be back. Oh, so Access Vegas will be Wednesday. That'll be 8:00 Pacific time, 11 p.m. Let me stop lying. It'll be like 8:30 Pacific time. 11:30 Eastern time because that's what we have to do. Tao nightclub for Halfway to Halloween will be on Thursday with myself and Michael Sartain. Mike will be back in the command center with me on Wednesday. I will be also back here on Sunday on July 6th. Will be the next time I see you. If you haven't joined Reignite, please join Reignite. You can go, and that's my group right there. You can join the school group. We do lots of cool fucking things like go deep sea fishing. We have the reason I'm bringing this up is we have another event coming up here in Las Vegas. It's going to be the 13th of August through the 15th or the 16th, something within that time right there. The 14th will be the swim week and you don't want to miss swim week in Las Vegas. But we'll be doing Babes in Toyland on the 14th. I will be there. It also happens to be my wife's birthday on that day too. So yeah. So we'll be celebrating my wife's birthday at Babes in Toyland. How cool is my wife? Right? So anyways, we'll be doing that. And so we're going to shoot guns.
Yeah.
The outfit around here that you can shoot automatic weapons.
Yep.
Can't do that in Canada. We'll be shooting automatic weapons. We're going to be doing Top Golf as well. I've got that on the list. And if I can convince the Las Vegas Motor Speedway to let me bring my Camaro on there, I'm gonna book some time on the track there. If not, there's also I think you can drive a Porsche or something like that. So we got
there's
something
a bunch
else.
of supercars they have.
When you come and you join Reignite, we do fun shit. I mean, we do educational shit, but we also do a lot of fun shit. So join the tribe. It's actually, compared to everybody else, it's pretty affordable. So, and it's basically our group, our tribe of guys that are there to help you unfuck your lives and get yourself back on track again. It's primarily, and you don't have to be 45. You can be 25, 35. I don't care how old you are. There's no age limits or anything like that. Now, granted, we do have mostly guys who are getting out of divorces, but the Miami white party was a raving success. I think I got at least 2 guys laid there, so that's a success. I wish I could use them as like these like examples. Hey, follow this guy; he got laid last time. But we had a good time out in Miami at the white party, and we're surely going to have at least a great time at the one here in Vegas. That will be the middle of August. I want to say it's the 13th through the 16th. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But if you are looking for, all you got to do is just go to Reignite and you'll find the dates there too. But I got that coming up. We're also going to be doing, I got something else coming up on the 19th for Reignite in July as well. So look for that in my social media. Other than that, let's get to these last 2. Jesus. Okay. Well, Rolo, best example of your teachings is our little situation in Poland. We live current to this day in chivalry because we were raised by our mothers and our grandmothers, because men die in war. Yes, of course they do. Nothing says sacrifice and martyrdom like dying in war. Guess what Polish chicks chose? Outlanders, Sub-Saharans, and Sudanese, like Myron, Sudanese Myron. Besides it, he's, quote, Poland is Thailand, the Thailand of Europe. Yeah, it kind of is. All right, guys, we'll get out of here. Thank you for watching. Kyle, thanks for doing what you do. Yeah. And I will see you guys on Wednesday, Access Vegas, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern. Thanks a lot. See you again. Bye-bye.
Oh, those guys are back! Tell these bitches to go to hell. Would you do it again? I need to feel you on top of me. It was my first time.
Say my name.
But I was just a kid when we met and went to bed. All right. What do you expect from me? I'm breaking up the rules now in the game. I've got some new tools. Please do the same. Time came by when over like a matchbox stereo. Time to get my thoughts now, let go. Bound to keep me up all night. But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. She's not a Christian. Maybe one more again. Best in my life. Ha! Gay! Now we're fucking in the bathroom, tearing up every wall while I got your hair. Why you screaming my name?
That's nasty. It is nasty, right? Isn't it nasty? Ugh.
She was swinging in the bedroom, whole time stopping and sleeping with her hair. Like she's Claudia Kelly.
Gotcha, bitch.
Want me? Ride me up and down like a pony. Turning up my song, getting nasty. Working up and down on your body. Want me? Ride me up and down like a pony. Turning up my song on your body. Baby, we get down to it all night. But maybe we can fuck again, and maybe things are different. Goddamn, baby, one more again. Won't you put it on me one more again? I need to know if maybe we can fuck again, then maybe things are different. I'm a whore.
Sitting Podcast has been a production of the Rational Male. All rights reserved. A registered trademark 2025. And don't steal my stuff.
feel like I just took a bath in battery acid.
Misogyny.
Dump that bitch.
God wants you to have the